Hello. You know what I forgot to do? Tried to be clever, and it didn't work. Gotta quickly fix this now. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Gotta make some updates. How are y'all doing, by the way? There we go. There's that one. I'll have to do it again for when we go to the next scene. The game view chat. You can all hear me good? What am I doing? Alright. You can hear me good? Good. Let me know if there's any popping or crackling. There shouldn't be, but just in case, let me know. Audio's crisp today? Excellent. There's a reason why. That's because I'm actually streaming, doing the reaction stream for my gaming PC. I did try doing some investigation last week into what could be causing it, the cracking, and from what I was able to work out, it had something to do with NVIDIA broadcast, which is really weird because it doesn't happen in the gameplay streams, but for whatever reason on reaction streams it does it. So instead of using my streaming PC to do the reaction stream, I'm going to use my gaming PC to do the reaction stream, since I shouldn't have the issue. It's just crazy. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't understand what is actually the cause of it. I don't know why, but it does happen. So yeah. For all I know, they could have fixed it overnight and I just haven't tested it within the last 24 hours. You know how it is. Anyway, bloody, yeah, I was pretty busy last week in between all the stuff for Star Citizen and the Mongrel Corps that I was doing. And the reaction videos from last week that I was pretty much processing aren't done yet. I've done the smaller videos. The one that I haven't finished yet is the main video, which is the ramming cheese. And my intent is to try and get those sorted out tomorrow, and then at the same time do the reaction videos for this lot as well. And the reason for that is that I was looking into tools, plugins that I could use to help with reducing time spent editing videos. And probably one of the biggest time consumers for me when I'm cutting these videos together is getting rid of all the blank spaces, all the pauses, and you know, like the silences where I'll be sitting there for like 7 or 10 seconds, which I didn't realize that I was doing until I started cutting through these videos, and I'm like, oh shit. But I found a plugin that uses an AI that will scrub through an entire video find all the spots within the video with dead air and cut those things out and either disable or just cut them out completely, and then ripple delete the entire thing. Like I've watched so far, I've watched video, like some of the reaction videos go from, you know, being like 35 minutes and it's like cutting 10 minutes out. So, you know, I'm also looking at how I can leverage it for doing the Mongrel Squad content videos as well. I'm gonna have to do some extra testing. It seems like there'll have to be some setup, additional setup that is required on those who are providing their point of view videos, but I'll talk to Mongrel Squad about that. It won't be something that'll become apparent, probably not till we start doing videos for 320. But yeah, like I'm hoping that tomorrow I can get the reaction videos all out. All of them, like in last week's and this week's. So the longest part is need a comedic compilation video of all the pauses. Oh, I wish you'd thought about that. I'll make sure I do one for this stream. I'm kind of just like sit there looking off in the distance and, you know, rubbing my face and stuff like that. It's a good idea. I got a pretty good idea on how to do it too. Sparkleburst asks, is the Mongrel YouTube channel dead? I haven't seen a video there in a couple of months. No, it's not. It's still alive. So I'm changing the release cadence for the videos. The release cadence, and I've mentioned this a couple of times already, although it's normally buried in these reaction streams. So my goal is to release essentially what I'm calling a patch series of videos and just drop them all at once. Before it was like a weekly thing, and I know YouTube prefers that, you know, regular content drops and all that sort of stuff, because that's what other people are doing. I don't really care about that. It's more or less like I could have for 319, because of all the piracy, like piracy just looks the same regardless of the group that you're doing. Like I mentioned this last week when we reacted to a video, and it was like that video that we watched last week, I think it was the Liberty Network's video. That is actually how I'd say, I wouldn't say 90% of the hits go. Most of the time they alt F4, but whenever there's a boarding action, that's pretty much how it goes. We find a target, we attack them, disable them, board their ship. If they're there, we'll kill them, and then we'll end up moving boxes. That's like the majority of the content, and they're all the same. There's not much nuances between them. A lot of the content that we've got now has good nuance in it. The problem is now getting all that together, cutting it up, and putting it out there. And what I've found is that if I'm going to do all that effort and try and distinguish our piracy videos from everybody else's, we also need to put a little bit more effort in. So 318 we introduced the cinematic intros, right? And the cinematic outro. This, you know, would have maybe a little couple of sentences, no more than a paragraph at the start to set the scene. Well, now I'm doing narration with it, you know, at the start and the end, and to do the setup instead of it all just being a cinematic intro. A lot of the time when we do our piracy hits, we'll have like 5 to 10 minutes before we actually attack the target. So I can do all the setting up so that we're pretty much starting as we're about to hit the target or as the target's about to leave. But then we can have the, you know, as the narration's happening, the background content changes along with it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not dead. It may look dead. It's just, I kind of came to this conclusion at the start of 319, but my priorities were with Mongrel Squad and dealing with the situation that we had then. And then it was more or less just focusing on building up the org, getting activities running in the Mongrel Corps, and just kind of feeling out how I wanted the videos to be. And I've already edited, was it 4 videos now? And as I've edited each one, I'm going back to some of them and making slight changes and modifications to keep them all streamlined. And you know, if we were doing a weekly cadence release, you know, that does take a fair bit of time and effort. And yeah, we do multi-person POV, which adds an extra level of complexity, because sometimes we'll get, you know, point of views of the same thing from 2 different angles, which are really good, but then we got to choose which one. You know, sometimes we'll do picture-in-picture and all that sort of stuff, but we try and stray away from that now. We try and keep it more of the immersive first-person experience. And if we ever go into cinematic mode, it's kind of just to do scene dressing when nothing interesting is really happening, just to jazz things up, you know, keep the audience interested, keep the pacing. But this plugin that I'm looking at may actually help speed up the editing process, but I need to do some further tests. The initial tests were looking pretty good. It does still require me to go through and, you know, make adjustments, but instead of me spending, you know, like, because the longest part of editing a video is cutting it. You know, cutting different bits of it, in and out of it. Now what I can do is I can get the plugin to do the majority of the cutting, and then I go back through and just make the adjustments and make sure it flows and makes sense. And, you know, if point of views need to change because something else is more interesting happening in a different point of view, then, you know, make sure that one gets prioritized over the others. But it's been a learning experience. Unfortunately, it also means that for everybody that's looking for Mongrel Squad Piracy videos, you're not really getting it, which is another motivation for actually doing the streams. It's on my personal YouTube channel. I want to try and keep the Mongrel Squad YouTube channel. It's one of the reasons why I brought the reaction stream here. I want to try and take the Mongrel Squad YouTube channel back to its focus on piracy gameplay and gameplay in general. So yeah, that's why the reaction stream's here. That's why I do the live streams on this channel as well, instead of the Mongrel Squad one. I get a larger audience over there, you know, and, you know, it should be monetized and all that. I'm not really that concerned about that sort of thing. You know, if people are interested in watching the streams, they'll come across here. You know, if they're interested in seeing what we're doing, they'll come across here. The other thing as well is, like, I am working on building up the Mongrel Corps, so the alliance that we've formed, so that we can actually ensure that we've got logistical services internal to us from both the legal and or lawful and unlawful side of things, and, you know, the Mongrel Auxiliaries being our casual piracy sister org, so that new players who are interested in doing piracy, or just players who are interested in doing piracy in general, can join that and do piracy in a bit more of a casual setting, get a feel for it, work out if they want to do it or not, instead of trying to join Mongrel Squad, where, you know, we're a lot more, we take what we do a lot more seriously. It's not everybody's, you know, thing, and I understand that, which is why we created the auxiliaries, because I want to try and include as many people into playing, you know, Star Citizen as possible, and, you know, feeling, you know, experiencing the game the same way that we've been doing for years. Yeah, that's just it, Ozil. Unfortunately, we're not going to have that, but we'll tell our own stories. You know, the Mongrel Squad's birthday, organization birthday, is actually coming up this Saturday. So we haven't really got anything external planned for everybody to be involved with, but within Mongrel Squad, we've got a few ideas on what we're going to do. We will be updating the Mongrel Squad Skull and Bones. So there's going to be new embellishments on it, accoutrements we're adding to the flag, and it's going to be something that we'll do pretty much every year moving forward. That's the plan. But we've had the current logo for about 2 years and hadn't really changed it. So there's a few accoutrements that we're adding to it. Normally it'd be just, my intent is to do per year 1 or 2 new ones. If there's 2 significant events, then we'll definitely do it. But if there's not many significant events, you know, we'll pick the one that stands out the most, so that, you know, our flag tells a story too. A lot of the time people won't see it, but within Mongrel Squad you will know, and it'll be one of those things that the prospects learn. You know, this is the history of the org that you're joining now. You know, these are the most notable events that we, you know, pride ourselves on. But my motivation for doing the content creation was, you know, promote Mongrel Squad, promote Star Citizen Piracy gameplay. It's always been the 2 angles that I've been working towards. And part of the reason why, you know, another motivation for doing the content creation was the experiences that I've had in games like H1Z1, DayZ, Ark, Atlas, Guild Wars 2 even, where, you know, engaging in PvP, multiplayer game, you know, open world, emergent gameplay experiences, stuff that you couldn't script, just happening. You know, I loved the early days of Ark before it actually went to gold status. Because we did so much. There was so much cool shit going on. So much, you know, organic gameplay, things that you can, you know, plan. And it was one of those things where I was like, I wish I'd recorded what I had done. You know, what, you know, me and my tribe had done, the wars that we were waging, all the steps that we were doing, everything, and just documenting that. We didn't do any of that. So, moving towards, you know, Mongrel Squad and Star Citizen, I really want to do that. So that's been a huge motivation for why I'm, you know, do content creation. Because I don't need to do content creation to run a bloody Star Citizen org. It's a choice, and I don't mind taking it on. Alright. That said, we've had about 20 minutes and I've been just sitting here drawing off. I think we should start with the first bit of content. This one's going to be a big one too, by the way. Like this, I think though I'm on the back end of it now because it's been flaring up. And this is about the PTU wave restructure. So before I get onto that, Sparkle, you can set up, I don't know if you're familiar with Shadowplay at all from NVIDIA, but you can do something similar. We can set up a buffer. So all you have to do is just turn OBS on, just start the replay buffer, and then if something does happen, you can hit a, you know, save the replay buffer, and it'll save however long, like the last 10 minutes or so, however long you set it for, as a video file. We do it in Mongrel Squad. I have mine set to 30 minutes, just so that I, you know, get as much of the of what was going on before a hit starts. Yeah, it's not intuitive to set up straight away. There are, if you YouTube it, you may find a good guide on it. It's one of those things where it's a bit like, if you know how to set it up, once you got it done, you never touch it again. But most people don't end up using it. Like if they're playing, they'll just end up recording their whole session and they'll go back through and cut it down. But yeah, worth looking into, the replay buffer. Alright, moving on. We're going to be talking about the PTU wave restructure. As you can see, if you saw the thumbnail, there's been a bit of a reaction to it. A lot more content creators, you know, have picked up on this than what I thought they probably would have. I'm not going to be going through all of their videos. Some of them are in different languages, so I wouldn't end up watching them anyway. But what I did was I picked 3, Board Gamer, Salty Mike, and Morphologist. I wanted to react to their videos, their points of view. I haven't watched them yet, so it will definitely be interesting. But we're going to start from the point of where it started, everything, where the wildfire actually started. So we're going to come over to here, and while I'm here, I'm going to quickly fix something. Where is it? There it is. Maybe I'll just do that. Give it a second. There we go. Really? Please. Refresh the cache. This is going to be a pain if it doesn't update. There we go. Test. Excellent. Alright, I do need to go back and relink the stream alerts and all that sort of stuff, but I'm pretty confident most of you aren't that bothered if they're not there. And there's also the subscriber bar at the top that's missing, but that's not a big deal. You aren't here to look at the overlays and crap, that's just my thing. You all want to hear about the PTU wave restructure, or the sharpening of the tools. Alright, I'm going to read the post. I'll read the post out quickly and then we'll move into the video content. Alright, so this is from Wayne CIG. Hello everyone. As you all may know, one of the most impactful development resources we have is the direct feedback coming from all of you. This includes the player behavior data we receive from the latest builds in the public test universe, PTU. Whether it's pushing the servers to their limits under heavy load and luring bugs out of hiding, to putting a new feature through its paces and focused test cases, you're an essential part of the process. The PTU is a replica environment of all of the necessary components that make our universe work. It is in this environment where both community members and Cloud Imperium staff alike test as we hone in on a release candidate, RC. Access to the PTU has historically been granted in waves to control the number of players in the environment based on testing needs. More often than not, a new feature or build will benefit from a gradual increase in concurrency rather than a floodgate of traffic. This allows us to monitor at varying degrees of scale to ensure that once content makes it onto the live servers, it will be performant. For the last 4 years, we haven't changed the PTU wave system, which regulates who has access to the test servers and when. Over time, more and more players have gained access to various waves, which has ultimately led us away from our initial goals with testing waves. We have also come to notice that many players only log in once per PTU phase to briefly inspect the latest features or new ships before waiting for the live release. This led to very high player loads in the first hours of each wave release, combined with comparatively high server costs and download provisioning, but not the sustained play testing we would have preferred. As a consequence, towards the end of the PTU phase, we sometimes lacked the necessary numbers of testers to put the servers under pressure once the most significant bugs had been fixed. For this reason, the team has decided to restructure the PTU's waves to focus on player activity. Now, the more often you play, and the more experienced and familiar you are with the game and its mechanics, the earlier we'll invite you to enter the PTU. To support this, and the players that would like to access the PTU, will review the activity-based wave allocation several times a year to ensure we have the most active testers within the first waves. So, if you've been following development more from the sidelines recently, don't worry. Hop back into the pilot seat, as future activity will lead to earlier PTU access in a relatively short time. Naturally, we also want to continue to open the door for everyone who has supported us. For this reason, we'll continue to accommodate subscribers and the various concierge levels throughout the new wave program. We're looking forward to this new approach, as together we'll gain even more data from the PTU phases, and as a result, a better experience on the live servers in the long run. Below, you'll find the new restructured waves for the PTU. Alright, so the first group is ETF, Evocati Test Flight Group, hand-selected players under an NDA. Very experienced volunteer testers chosen based on the long-term provision of constructive feedback, quantity and quality of bug reports, and overall activity. Wave 1. Top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles. Subscribers. Legatus Navium Concierge level backers. This is pretty much where the bloody points of contention start. The subscribers being wave 1 and, you know, Legatus Navium Concierge level backers, which means you spent 25 grand. Which is a shit ton of money. Alright, wave 2, next top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles, Praetorian Concierge level backers. Wave 3, next top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles, Wing Commander, Space Marshal, and Grand Admiral Concierge level backers. Wave 4, next top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles, High Admiral Concierge level backers. Wave 5, the plebs. Or all backers with an active game package. And then they say thank you. Alright. Myself personally, this doesn't actually affect me because I'm ETF. So, you know, like, if I didn't have ETF, I think I'd be wave. If I didn't have ETF and I didn't play Star Citizen that much, I'm pretty sure I'd be wave 3. Alright, but even without ETF, I'm pretty confident. I'm a subscriber as well, so I would still have wave 1. But if I didn't have subscriber and I wasn't playing that much, I'd be wave 3. If I didn't have subscriber and I wasn't ETF, I'd be at wave 1 because I fucking play this game a lot. And I'm quite confident that I'd get into wave 1. And this is the point of contention that I see here, is that top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles. Rated by hours, how many? Like, what's the value that we're looking at? You know, how do we know that we're playing enough to be, you know, worthy of getting into wave 1 or wave 2 or, you know, 3? Like, we don't know. The irony is, though, is like, access to wave 1, it was guaranteed for all concierge levels, subscribers, and active players, as well as ETF. Like, active players could get into wave 1, but nobody knew how. CIG told us that it was based on IC bug reports, but what you would find is that if you were submitting a lot of IC reports, most people were around concierge level. It was very rare to find non-concierge players sitting at the whole, you know, contributing a lot on the IC and not being concierge. Like, especially this long into the development, where this is the 11th year since Star Citizen became a thing. Like, that's a long time, especially if you've been following the project from the start. That's a long time to be, you know, buying into, you know, the game and buying ships, and, you know, you just pick up a ship every now and again, maybe 2 ships in a year, you know. If you do, like, you know, if you've been backing since 2012 and you spent $100 per year on the game, you would be concierge level now. And that's, you know, that's something that I don't think a lot of people are fully comprehending now. And this was actually something that, you know, myself personally, I thought about, and it's like, there's going to be a point where we're going to have a lot of people who are concierge. Like, a lot. And what are they going to do then? You know, like, you know, they, in concierge forums, have talked about extra perks and stuff like that, and then, you know, like, it's funny because they get hit with this. Like, as I said before, it doesn't really affect me because I'm already up here, so I'll end up going through all the patch iterations anyway. But for me, it's like, the complaints that I've been hearing, you know, subscribers, you know, people complain, oh, this is the problem here. This is the problem, you know, like it's pay to, you know, it's pay to get early access, you know, and those who spent thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, don't get that early access anymore. It's like, well, you know, CIG did tell us. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. This sentence here. We have also come to notice that many players only log in once per PTU phase to briefly inspect the latest features or new ships before waiting for the live release. And they mention early on, where is that? They essentially mentioned early on that it costs money. It's costing them money. That's what it is. Yeah, it's actually the next sentence. I'm fucking blind. Yeah. Very high player loads in the first hours of each wave release, combined with comparatively high server costs and download provisioning, but not the sustained playtesting they would have preferred. Like, CIG does not need thousands of players to log in to find out, you know, to look at the new shit and then just leave. They need people playing and testing, which is why this criteria here of top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles, there's a reason why they put it as the first thing there. And it's not to try and hide that concept, you know, bloody Legatus is the first, you know, get guaranteed wave 1. And it's not to hide the fact that you can pay a $10 subscription and get access to wave 1. It's not that. It's, this is to them, to CIG, the most important thing to them. That. Top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles. They don't care about people wanting to drop in and look at the new features. It doesn't matter. You know, like, wait until it goes live. It'll probably be a better experience then. Wait until it goes live, update your game client, drop in, have a look. It's still shit, leave. That's what's happening. And that's the thing, is like, you know, that's been the most, you know, the main complaint. Everybody seems to be ignoring this one. You know, from all the complainers, they're all like, oh no, you know, it's pay to bloody, you know, get into wave 1. And, you know, like, CIG's spitting in the face of their concierge level backers by not, you know, granting them all wave 1 access. Guess what? You clowns, the bloody concierge level backers that have got more dollars and cents that keep fucking throwing money at this fucking project, who only show up to look at the new shit and then go, oh, it's not ready yet, and then come back later. You clowns are the reason why they're doing it. That's just it. Bloody CIG's gone, we don't need bloody tens of thousands of players logging in for a couple of hours and then never seeing them again. There's actually a response. It's actually a screenshot of a response, because the response, it was from Will Leverett. We'll find it. There's a response from Will Leverett where he actually says, like, I think Metatron mentioned it, like 95% of those who, you know, drop in, you don't see them again until the next major PTU patch. Kingy, you've changed. You moved to Europe and you just changed, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like this new Kingy. I don't like this new Kingy at all. You moved to Europe and you think you got all this privilege? Oh my god. 554 responses. This is going to be a bit. I think I would have had the link sorted out for this. Actually, I might actually have the link for it somewhere. Sipping on the same €1. Do you complain to the staff when it goes cold? Bright light. Here we go. Here it is here. This is a screenshot. Now, a lot of people have been looking for this screenshot. The reason why you can't find it is because it's actually in the concierge chat. I went looking for it too, and yeah, I somehow tracked down somebody else who had provided a link. Ah, there it is there. This person linked it, but you have to be concierge to see it. Alright, so this is from Will Soul Crusher Leverett. Actually, what are you saying, Fats? There's a response in the chat, and they're saying this is a response to it. Yeah, that's fair. Apologies for the long write-up, but maybe I can illustrate it a bit because OGs will remember I helped design the first test groups and I helped with the rebalance. It comes down to a numbers game to fill multiple PTU servers across multiple days to achieve the right soak testing and proper scale testing all of our services. The challenge over the years is Wave 1 became so massive from when we started that we used all of our ammo on one single day. Over 95% play PTU just once, check it out, and never seen again. What wasn't in the post is a very compressed timeline. The waves will happen almost immediately, one after the other. I even expect to see multiple waves on the same day. The speed of which it happens will make this almost unnoticeable in the end. I get that it's a perceived loss in value, but I would ask, give it a shot. This will really help our man and hero Ahmed, our dev team, and the project as a whole to have more people spread across multiple days. I'm going to tell you now, the last two paragraphs, I just wouldn't worry too much about what they're saying there. Because that's an intent. They intend on trying to, do compressed wave releases. The reality is more than likely going to be something different. So, let's go back up to the top. The reactions to this though. 1,135 people downvoting. Bet you all of them are fucking concierge that aren't sitting on Legatus. I should upvote. Like, we're still in the building phase of Star Citizen, right? We're still in the building phase of Star Citizen. It's not going to be built quickly. They're going to go back over shit. And to sit there and complain that you don't get access when more than likely you're one of the people who are just going to log in, look at the new stuff, go, oh, everything's still broken, game's still not finished, and then not be seen until the next Wave 1 PTU cycle for the next major patch. That's why CIG is doing this, because they don't want you doing that. If you want to do that, you wait until your wave. They want people who play the game to be in that test universe. Those are the people that they want. Like people sit there and go, oh, Star Citizen's pay to win. It's like, alright, well, if it was pay to win, then COG wouldn't have changed any of this because, people wouldn't be kicking up a stink about losing Wave 1 access. It's a privilege to get into that Wave 1. And people want to be able to pay for that privilege. It's a perk for subscribers because they're continuing to pay money regardless of, the content that they get. Like, I can tell you now, it's also motivated by marketing. It's like, no, keep the subscribers there. That way people pay more money. But you know what happens? Those high server costs can now start being offset by people who may not be playing all the time, who may just be testing, coming in to check out the feature, but they're also a subscriber because they want to help, support the project, support the content creation, because that's what the subscriber program is supposed to be. It's supposed to support the content creation side of things, so the YouTube channel and all the extra stuff that they put out on the website. So having subscribers involved in Wave 1 gives CIG another pot of money that they can dip their hands into to offset costs for the servers. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if Star Citizen was supposed to be pay to win from a certain point of view, you could look at being concierge as, you know, a method of trying to invoke pay to win. And having Wave 1 access, you know, is a privilege to, you know, see all the new stuff first. So you don't have to put much effort into, you know, doing anything useful other than throwing money at the game. Which to CIG, it would be considered useful, you know, because it's paying for bills, paying people's wages and things like that. But at the same time, like, most of them are probably still going to spend that money even if they lost this Wave 1 access. You know, we're going to see, you know, 320's Wave 1 is really going to be the litmus test on the resolve of the community on this backlash. Because what is it? Yeah, I'm going to assume, I'm going to be bold and make an assumption here that 1,135 people who downvoted this, let's say that they're all concierge level backers who aren't going to get Wave 1 access, right? They're not going to get Wave 1 access unless, you know, they're Legatus. Let's assume that they're not Legatus and that they don't have Wave 1 access. They're not ETF and they don't have Wave 1 access. And they're currently not subscribers and they don't have Wave 1 access, right? But that's like 11 grand potentially right there. Yeah, 11 grand that they could get. That's why, you know, part of the reason why, you know, I think marketing does have a hand in the subscribers maintaining their access is because there's potentially 11 grand, but that's also like a pool that CIG could dip into now and go, all right, we've got high server costs coming in, we've got all these extra people showing up, they're only going to be here for like a couple of hours. Well, if they're paying, you know, for that privilege, then we can dip our fingers into that pot too and pull some money out of that to offset costs. Because right now, you know, like, we're not paying for servers, CIG is, and they pay for the servers through ship sales. Paying CIG to do their work in the PTU, where do I need to subscribe? Amiro, you're not paying to do their work, you're not developing the game. You're literally just a connection point at this for the PTU, really. That's just it. And more than likely, Amiro, you're not going to have to pay because you play Star Citizen enough. Like that's the thing. Like, do you want Wave 1 access for free? Play the game. Play in the PTU. Well, Metatron, we don't know how much time you need to play, and that's a point of contention here that I think CIG does need to clarify. Like, because nobody knows how much time you have to play in order to get Wave 1 access, a lot of people are just sitting there going, oh, this is like the sky is falling. You know, what is a lot of gameplay time, or, you know, what is sufficient to meet the criteria for Wave 1? You know, is it like 2 hours a day? So you're looking at 14 hours a week? What am I looking there? I was looking for this. You know, 2 hours a day, 14 hours a week. Some people would sit there and go, oh shit, that's a lot of time. You know, I can't do that. Well then, you're probably one of the people who are going to show up during Wave 1 if you still had access to it. Kick around for a small amount of time that you are, and then not be seen until the next patch because you kind of, you know, afford the time requirements. You know, you may be down in wave 2 or wave 3. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just FOMO, really. It's the fear of missing out on, you know, not seeing something first. Yeah, when it's harmful. The irony is like, you know, we're potentially seeing a scummy marketing tactic here, and I can understand people who are upset at this, but I guarantee you that they're using this, the majority who bring this point up about, oh, you know, it's scummy marketing for subscribers, the majority of people who bring that up that aren't, you know, going to fit the wave 1 criteria, it's just an angle of attack. That's it. They're not concerned about the fact that subscribers get access, you know, or that CIG's engaged in scummy marketing. It's that somebody else gets access over them. All the big streamers complainingly likely have Legatus access anyway. Not all of them. There, Brewski. The sub perk makes no sense now on their premise. Well, I've already brought this up, Runner. I don't know if you dropped in when I brought this point up, but if subscribers now have wave 1 access, and that's a criteria, the pool of money that subscribers have can now be dipped into for the purpose of offsetting costs on server load. So, you know, like all the servers who end up joining, you know, to check out for a couple of hours, it's one of those things where it's like, well, we know all these people are subscribers, so all these extra clients that are joining, we can just dip our hands into the little subscriber pot and pull some extra money out to offset those server costs. Eddie, mate, one of the few times that I agree with you. Roll mushrooms, Captain the Dark and Fed shit. 100%. And yeah, like, to be honest, I agree with that point. It's like, just let us know what the requirements are, the time requirements are, and people can make up their own minds if they want to try and achieve that or not. You know, I'm surprised though, like, to be honest, I'm surprised the OG didn't add an extra criteria for wave 1 access where it's like if you've referred, you know, if you've recruited like 100 people into play Star Citizen, you know, through the referral system. So, you know, like, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe it does. But that's the point that I was making earlier, Grizz. You know, no more subs than they had before because subs have always had access. Well, they might end up with more subs because, you know, these concierge level backers here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 levels of concierge who don't have wave 1 access, and not all of them will be subscribers. And that's the thing is, like, you know, those people could, if they can afford to be, you know, this level on concierge, you know, $10 if they really want to test wave 1, and in their mind it's just, you know, show up for a couple of hours, you know, check all the new stuff and then never be seen again. If they really wanted to do it, they'll pay the $10. Get the, you know, subscriber perk, look at the was it the jump points and all that? They could do all that. Like, that's the thing is, like, you know, these people who have paid, you know, if you've paid $1,000 on a game, you paid a lot. You paid a lot, and you're probably in a position where you could afford it. And if you're not, that's okay. If you got the time, you can keep playing. And if not, it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's one of the things that I'm just amazed by, is just how fucking upset some people are about this. It's like, is it really that? It's not like the game is coming out immediately after the fucking waves are finished. It's not like Star Citizen's finished. You know, for people to sit there and have a sookie lala like they are, it's just, it's mind-boggling. It's like, oh no, you're taking away something from us. It's like, taking away what? You fucking, the privilege of getting in, you know, first to look at stuff that, you know, is probably broken. It's one of those things. It's like, I'm just, to me, it's confusing. Like, I'm concierge. I'm fucking ETF as well, and I'm a subscriber. Fucking, I hit all the, like, I'm up here anyway. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's a choice for me. You know, I can afford it, so I did it. But yeah, like, even if I didn't have ETF, even if I wasn't a subscriber, I would still be up here because of this. Because I play the game enough. The irony is, though, is that I play on other accounts now, and it's possible that those other accounts may end up being in a position where they could also be Wave 1, but I don't know. And nobody knows, other than CIG, because they haven't told us what the fucking hours are supposed to be. You know, how many hours do we need to play in a patch to meet the criteria? Rant on. Why not remove the concierge requirement entirely? Keep it as active players and subs can give concierge a different perk. I'm not against that, but you know, I'm pretty sure the concierge backers would, you know, the people who see concierge as important would. I don't know, like, they could do that. I don't know what different perk they could give them, to be honest. Like, maybe we're straying way off the topic by going down that path, but you know, there's some ideas that you could throw out there. Well, you know, and concierge being deleted, you know, pretty much not many people are sitting at Legatus, right? Not many people sit at Legatus. So they've just removed a lot. Grizz, we all do. I want the game to be finished before I die too. Although I'm not closer to that milestone than others. Anyway, buddy, I've been drawing off a lot, and I actually wanted to react to some of the content creators out there. So where are we? It's actually this one that I want. Get it closed. I should have linked that at the start. That's the thread. If you haven't seen it before, you can go check it out. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be manga. What the hell are you on about, Kingy? You mean bloody having Irish coffees or something like that, mate? Anyway, here we are. So, this is Board Gamer. And I haven't reacted to any of his content. You're in Holland? Oh, okay. That's the video, because he puts out 1,000 a day. So, it might be a bit of an exaggeration, might not. But this is Board Gamer's video. I'm gonna turn the music off. And yeah, he likes to report on a lot of things, so let's see what Board Gamer has to say.
Major patch release, they have these PTU waves. These waves are being restructured. This changes who gets to play in these patches and when they get to play, and when patches can be in this test phase for weeks, if not months sometimes. Lots of players want to play in these early waves, And I think this is an incredibly bad look for CIG. It certainly created a lot of friction on the forums, so let's actually have a look at the post, break it down, and talk about what's going on here. The post they released is called PTU Wave Restructure, Sharpening the Tools. Hello everyone! As you all may know, one of the most impactful development resources we have is the direct feedback
coming from you. Read out what I just did? I think he's reading it out. Why did you do it this way? Why not just show the Spectrum post? It's a lot easier to read than this. Look at this. Look at this huge block of text. And you got all the moving picture behind it.
Or new ships before waiting for the live release.
Where's the part where we get to his opinion? I hope he was just reading it out and he hasn't been given his opinion. 3 minutes and something? Yeah, he's just been reading.
Legatus Navium concierge backers. That's a lot of money. Wave 2, that's the next top active players rated by hours in the previous 2 major patch cycles. And Praetorian concierge level backers, which is $15,000 spent. Wave 3, again, the next top active players rated by hours. And then Wing Commander, Space Marshals, and Grand Admiral concierge levels. So this is anyone that spent $2,500 or more. Then you've got Wave 4, which is the, again, next active players rated by hours, and then High Admirals, which is $1,000 spent, which is the base level of concierge, if you will. And then Wave 5 is all backers that have an active game package. So there's a lot I want to talk about there, because what Cloud Imperium were talking about earlier in that totally makes sense, right? They want players to be more committal in testing the PTU patches. They want them, if they're going to turn up, if they're going to access it, if they're going to use basically download bandwidth, if they're going to download the game, that effectively...
Why does it look so trash? Why is it on 480?
Effectively costs CIG money. They want them to test and do as much of the focus testing as possible. They want quality of these PTU testers. That totally makes sense. That means they can control the numbers coming in more. Totally get that. However, the issue then is, well, we would like to see our stats to know how close we are to being in the next sort of levels and tiers, because at the moment it looks like some sort of voodoo magic's used to choose who gets in. The breaking up of players getting entry based on their concept.
Ironically, that's how it has always been. It's just been based on issue counter reports if you wanted to get into ETF or higher wave tests. So it's like the status quo really hasn't changed. I don't disagree with this point though. Like, I agree that we need to see the hours played so that we can, you know, make an informed decision on whether or not it's something that we want to push for or not. Or, you know, like if we're going to satisfy it or not.
Concierge level just seems odd. There can't be that many people that have gone concierge or above, yeah? $1,000 or above. Giving wave-based entry based on the amount of money that you have spent on your account does not necessarily improve the quality of those testers at all.
There can't be that many that's gone concierge. Are you fucking serious? This project is over $500 million in funding. Over $500 million. I think it's nearly 600 million now. There are going to be shit tons of concierge. Fucking not that many, mate.
And if you're going to do that, to give like Wave 1 access to concierge at all, I'd give it to all concierge personally. But if quality of tester is genuinely super important and there's too many concierge and that they cause some issues with downloading and not being quality enough testers. Sorry that I keep on using that word. I don't mean to insult anyone, but I'm talking about sort of quality in testing metrics that Cloud Imperium clearly need.
Confirmed, Board Gamer is saying most concierge players are shit and aren't quality at all or useful to CIG beyond their fat wallets. That's literally what I just heard Board Gamer say. I don't know if you guys heard it. I heard him say it. Can't tell me otherwise.
Then maybe they shouldn't include the concierge level of backers at all in the waves of test. But why would you then include subscribers? So you're basically going, there are ways of buying in to get earlier access, even if you do just want to quickly have a look at the stuff. So I understand that there is a marketing team behind Clan Imperium which also push for sort of stuff like this. They go, what's sensible? And Clan Imperium do have access to all of their metrics. They do know the best ways of controlling the amount of players in. So maybe this has actually been really well analysed and they've gone, well, actually, this gives us exactly what we need. It's just quite a bad look to split it up by you need $25,000 spent in the game, or you can pay the voluntary subscriber money to get in. I suppose paying that subscriber money does alleviate any problems with costs associated with data downloading. It's also that typically the wave 1 and Evocati waves of a patch, they can be very long. So you can have the sort of wave 1 patch being several weeks, or if maybe like a couple of months sometimes. Now, potentially longer. And sometimes you can have wave 2 to release of the actual patch for everyone within a week. I do also want to say it's totally within Clan Imperium's rights to do this however they want. I'm just pointing out that it's a bit weird that they're saying we want quality testers, while also then pointing out where you can actually buy a subscription to get into the testing bracket. A lot of players...
My favorite part is that he's like completely ignoring the point that's, you know, he brought it up earlier, that just playing enough, playing the game enough will get you wave 1 access. And the thing is that those people who are willing to pay to get their, you know, pay the subscription to get access, they're going to be one or two people. Either the people that have the money to burn and are, you know, happy with paying $10 to play for a couple of hours and then, you know, wait until the next patch cycle, major patch cycle, or they'll sit there, pay the $10 and go, I'm going to get my fucking money's worth out of this. I'm going to play the shit out of it. Nova Intergalactic has 100 wing commanders. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, man. You missed it. It's on the stream now. That's all right. Yeah, like Bruce, there's nothing wrong with that too. If you pay the subscription, you know, play the shit out of it. Play the shit out of it. What will suck though is if you pay that subscription and you get wave 1 access and it turns out like for the 3 weeks you can't play because of some, you know, random bug that happens that, you know, only happens to a few clients. But at the same time, CIG kind of needs that data, and it's either you find out during the PTU or you find out when it goes live. Could also be a test by CIG to see, you know, like how many people are willing to pay a subscription, because, you know, if they're taking server loads and, you know, like download concurrency into account now for the testing phase, and they're concerned about cost, this could also be a test. Put your tinfoil hat on. It could also be a test to see if the community has an appetite to pay a monthly subscription fee just to be able to play Star Citizen. You know, like crazy theory, but always possible.
Players aren't going to care about this, but there's going to be a lot of, I would expect, concierge players that feel a bit insulted by being broken down like that. You're wave 4 if you've only spent $1,000. That's a lot of money. I do think that showing player stats and metric info about all the hours that you've played and that sort of stuff would be quite useful here. Although not mentioned there, I do expect this to be relatively beneficial for content creators who typically would get into wave 1 PTU. But I suppose that's beneficial for Clan Imperium as well, because that would allow players to actually watch what the new content is and see it quickly on a content creator's channel and not necessarily clog up the PTU by sort of jumping in just for one session themselves, as they mentioned earlier. I don't know, it's an interesting one, right? So, as I said, Clan Imperium can do what they want, and I understand their need to take control of the PTU waves and get the best quality data they can. It's just, yeah, it looks a bit weird the way they've done the Wave 1 stuff, where you can buy in as a subscriber, and obviously the breakdown of those concierge levels just looks weird. A lot of concierge backers going, oh, I don't have Wave 1 access anymore? Oh. Anyway, I'm not a massive fan of the way they've done that, but I'm really interested to know what you think. Do you not care about this at all? Are you really, really annoyed? Is this going to encourage you to subscribe? Do you think, actually, it's totally fine what Clan Imperium have done there? They're trying to get better testing data, and they think this is going to allow them to do that. Or have marketing got their filthy claws into this and have gone, there's some ways of making extra subscriber money here. Do you think it's fair that content creators get Wave 1 access? It does make sense from my point of view. Obviously, I'm quite biased as a content creator, but that's a good way of getting a lot of people to see all that new content. Whatever your thoughts, though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments.
Get his angle on the content creator thing. If you're playing the game enough, you'll get Wave 1 access. So if you're a content creator, you'd be playing a lot, right? Unless you're one of the people who just sits there and makes content based on stuff that CIG puts out on their website and you don't actually play the game. You know, like, then you'd just have to subscribe, right? It's one of those situations where it's like, there's going to be content creators who will be scared about this too. Because it means that they got to play more. And they can't just spit out content. I just think it's weird that he's bringing up that angle. But like, Board Gamer would be a subscriber because it's an information source for creating news. Yeah, like, I thought that was interesting that he's bringing it up.
Comments below. Are we alone in the universe?
Oh god, what is this? It's... I'm not going to bother showing the last bits. It's advertising for NordVPN and then I don't know what the last bit is. Alright, so that's Board Gamer's take. That is his take right there. Alright. This one from Morphologist. The man who was the reason why all these reactions and rants started. This is Morph's video. I'm just dropping the link there for you guys if you want to watch it later. It's also going to be in the description of the stream as well. Star Citizen players furious after early access changes. Alright, let's hear what Morph has to say. I like how he's wearing his executive armor. Flexing that fucking concierge muscle. If only, you know, he bugged his helmet out so he could wear his top hat and monocle underneath. That would really set it off.
Star Citizen's developers just changed who can access the test environment and when, and the community is absolutely on fire. A glance at their own homebrewed forums they call Spectrum will reveal nearly every single section is filled.
Is this trash? Why is it at 480? What the fuck? Alright. Morph don't like me. What was Morph don't nerf me already taken there, Eddie?
Top to bottom, with people complaining about this change, especially the concierge forums whose members are particularly aggrieved, as the first wave release has gone from a concierge $1,000 level to a concierge $25,000 level. Or you could just subscribe for $10 a month and get access, but more on that later. This isn't exactly what it seems. Still, the reactions are interesting. I'll show you some of what the community is saying in a moment, but first, let's talk about what happened. So if you don't know, Chris Wayne from CIG posted in the announcement section of the Spectrum forums yesterday how they were going to be restructuring the PTU wave.
Of course he didn't mention actively playing. That's going to come as a, you know, footnote. Wow, yeah, it's fucking... The screenshot that he's got here. This is just a nitpicky thing, but it bothers me, so I'm going to say it. We don't need to see the bookmarks side of anything. If you use Control and scroll in, or, you know, plus, Control plus, zoom the page in, you can eventually get it to show just this information here. Now, if you wanted this wide shot, You can right click and go into the inspector, find the parent that highlights all of this, and then hit delete on the page. And what will happen, or what should happen, is that the responsive nature of the page should actually detect that this component and all its children are gone and expand. The screenshot's not centered. I mean, I'm kind of sitting at an angle, so I didn't really notice, but yeah, it's a nitpicky thing, I know, but fucking, if you're gonna, what is it, you got 250,000 subs? Yeah, 250,000 subs. Yeah. You do great on your presentations and videos, Morph, but this is, you know, this makes you look unprofessional. Plus, now I know who's talking to you in DMs. Not that I care.
Releases. The PTU, if you don't know, is the public test universe for Star Citizen. This is a version of the game they release prior to what they call live, which is also technically a test environment, but that's beside the point. So they're going to be changing it from the original 4-wave structure to a new 6-wave structure. The original structure worked like this. It would first be released to Evo Kadi Flight Group, which is a small group of hand-selected players who signed an NDA. They're typically very good testers who've played the game for a long time and have shown good constructive feedback. Then it would move on to Wave 1, which is a larger group of active players by hours and people who also give good feedback, in addition to members of the subscriber community who pay 10 to 20 bucks a month, and members of the concierge community who are people who have spent over $1,000 on the game. Then it moves on to Wave 2, which is a smaller group of people who are also good testers, and then to Wave 3, which is just called Open PTU. Basically, at that point, anybody who owns the game can play the test environment. The new wave structure will begin like it did before with Evo Kadi, but the big difference is going to be the next 5 waves. The first one being now only Legatus Navium concierge level backers who are concierge backers who have paid over $25,000.
He's literally re-explaining what was in the fucking post. Man. Just padding out that bloody content time, eh? Alright, push through.
That and subscribers who pay at least $10 a month, and top active players rated by hours from the previous 2.
Also, fucking, you must be taking his UI tips from CIG, because fucking white text on a bright background with no drop shadow. What the fuck?
Patch cycles. Following that is Wave 2 with another group of active players in addition to the Praetorian level of concierge members who've paid over $15,000. Then it'll be Wave 3, people who have paid at least $2,500 and another larger group of active players. And then finally, the base concierge level members who've only paid $1,000 back in the game will be able to access the PTU, as well as another larger group of trustworthy testers. And then, of course, the last wave will be Open PTU, Wave 5, where anybody with a game package will be able to test the game. And just starting off looking at the post, you can see the like to dislike ratio is pretty extreme in the favor of dislike. And there are a lot, and I mean a lot of negative threads and replies all over the forums, but there are a couple common threads. One of them comes from the concierge community who feel particularly aggrieved, such as here Thoringer feels that he spent over $5,000 on the game, and if you count his son, a little bit more, and he feels that he shouldn't have been bumped out of Wave 1. And there are quite a few more posts.
Too bad. Eat a bag of dicks. CIG made a decision. Fucking deal with it. Subscribe or just fucking play more if you don't want to spend the money. Fuck. It's not hard.
Posts like this, like I said, there's a common thread here. And if you think the main announcement post reactions are bad, you should look at the concierge forums if you have access to it. One of the most upvoted comments in there is, amazing, they're taking away concierge perks and don't even have the decency to tell us. made by Watcher XP. And a lot of the reactions share the same sentiment, adding in that they think it's ridiculous that somebody can spend $10 a month and get access, whereas they have to wait till Wave 3 if they've spent $2,500, or Wave 4 if they spent $1,000. Others feel like this is a push to get more people to subscribe, a horrible marketing ploy. See what Sir Kep here says about it. He uses some pretty choice language. And of course, there are very few positive comments responding to this, having some constructive feedback on how they might better do this wave process to get the results that they're looking for. Which leads me to why they decided to do this. Chris explained that they've kept the current wave system for the past 4 years, but it's actually started to have some issues. There are a lot of people apparently who are now in these early testing phases, which has led to a really high spike in players starting off, but then a sharp drop off as the PTU lasts longer. The post was also soon followed up by Will Leverett from CIG, who went on to explain that actually 95% of the player base who check out the PTU just go on once and then never come on again, leaving them with a huge spike on the first day and a massive drop off following that. This, as they go on to explain, is not an ideal scenario. What they want to see is a gradual building up of players who test it throughout the test cycle so that they can properly load the patches and test new ones as they arrive before eventually releasing to live. Now, all of this seems pretty reasonable, but in classic CIG fashion, they released this information quietly in the forums with little follow-up details, leaving a
Quietly on the forums? It was in the fucking announcement section. What the fuck? Well, were you expecting them to put it on a Star Citizen Live or an Inside Star Citizen? Actually, it would actually make sense to put it on Inside Star Citizen, considering it's, you know, about the development of Star Citizen, and throwing it up there would actually, you know, reach more people. But at the same time, like, you know, it was put in the announcement section of Spectrum. Glad about everything not announced on Reddit or Twitter first, yeah. 95% of subscribers are going to log on for the first hour, then just disappear. What happens then? Well, the marketing team just stops the bloody networking team from making any changes because they got a whole bunch of money out of it. Because it went from 95% of whales who don't spend any extra money on the game now to 95% of the whales who decided to pay $10 because they can't handle FOMO. But yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like Morph is purposely withholding information here. Like the structure of this video so far. So he's led with a clickbait. You know, he's led with a clickbait, not the explanations. So it's like, oh yeah, this is, you know, the system. And then, you know, this is how, you know, it was before, this is where it's going to now, making sure to emphasize, you know, the stupid amounts of money that people have paid to play this game, or paid to support the game. And, you know, mentioning as a footnote in voice as opposed to in text that, you know, actively playing the game is also, you know, a pathway to getting Wave 1 access. And then he starts going, oh, the reason why they're doing this is this. So he's going, yeah, CIG's doing all this bad stuff, and the reason why they're doing all the bad stuff is this, but now he's still trying to downplay it. I don't like this at all. Once again, like, you know, fucking, he's an influencer, 68,000 views. You know, you could sit there and say, I don't have much influence, fuck off. If your video in 2 days has got 68,000 views in a community that's the size of Star Citizen, you got a lot more influence than you realize.
a lot of people with questions and anger. If they had given some more context to this change, along with maybe some visual aids in a video format, maybe, I think that more people would understand why they're doing it and there'd be less anger. And so let me try to do their jobs for them.
No,
and please don't take this as a defense of the way they're doing things. I'm just trying to explain it how I understand. So here's a graph that represents the current PTU patch cycle system. They start off with QA and then Evocati, which are very small groups of players who are only testing to make sure the patch isn't completely broken. And then it moves on to Wave 1, where you get this massive spike because of all the people in Wave 1, then it drops off sharply, maybe comes back up again if there's a new ship that's released in that PTU. And then you get Wave 2, and then eventually Wave 3, which again has another massive spike, and then it flatlines afterward. Like they said, this isn't what they want. What they instead want to try to get is something more like this second graph I made with their new PTU release schedule. The idea being that they're always adding more people to the PTU and loading it over a longer period of time to get better feedback for their patch releases. Comparing these two together, you can see now that there's a higher baseline with this new release, but this is speculative, it's not actual data. I'm just trying to show what they're trying to do. The important context that they probably should have given here along with this is the issues with 318 and 319, but sadly they've not even released a post-mortem yet to discuss these problems, and I think that's part of the whole issue. Just in case you don't know, 318 was in PTU for something like 6 months, and towards the end of that cycle, people were sick of it and weren't playing it anymore. And so even though they were trying to stress test a big feature that needed a lot of people to try it, they weren't getting the numbers that they needed. So when it released to live, it was predictably a pretty big disaster, leaving.
Yeah, those graphs are still like made up, but to be honest, if CIG had released graphs on previous data or previous events showing their reasoning, they would have got a lot more of a positive response. Yeah, this is actually turned, by the way. Like, you know, I was having a crack at Morph about the way that he's presenting, and now he's actually going in. I think he should have led with this and then brought up the other points. But yeah, if CIG had led with the graphs, it probably wouldn't have been. There'd still be fucking salty people, but you know, the majority of the content creators, the larger ones, wouldn't be sitting there going, fucking. They wouldn't be sitting there going, oh, you know, it's 25,000 to play Stars. It's like, no, you bloody. The majority of you whales don't test enough. Get the fuck in the game and play. It's the player's fault. It's always the player's fault. Don't you understand that, Defanos? This is how we end up with Stockholm Syndrome. It's our fault. It's our fault that the game's not being finished yet. I hope you've been learning how to do programming. In this case, it literally is. I don't know about that. Nobody... There's only so much blame that CIG can throw around before they have to start taking some of it back on themselves. Like, you know, a PTU that goes for that long, them, you know, relentlessly pursuing bugs, it's pretty clear that somebody made a decision that was a lot higher up to push 318 out the door before it was really ready to get pushed to a wider audience. Because at the end of the day, like, we don't decide when we get access to these patches. CIG does. You know, the decision points that we have is if we want to participate or not, and we don't have to. We don't have to be involved in this process at all. Like, we've given the bare minimum that we give, that we are required to give to CIG is, you know, what was it, the amount for a basic package, so $45 US. That's it. That is our bare minimum to gain access to the game. Everything else that we do after that is a bonus for CIG. And it's a choice for us. No, we're still talking about the PTU access. With regards to this, is like, it's not really, you know, like, the players wanting to check out the new stuff, that's natural human curiosity. You can't blame them for that. To sit there and, you know, to say, okay, we need to change the way that we do our testing because this, you know, what you guys are doing isn't helpful to us. And, you know, we can't really expect you guys to do the testing for us that we need you, that we would like you to do. It can't be an expectation. So we have to change things so that we mold the landscape the way that we want so that you guys behave the way that we want. Like that there is part of the reason why they're making these changes. Like the whole 318 going for as long as it is, I put that one on CIG. They made a mistake. You know, when it went live, it just ended up being a shit show. Because a lot of people didn't want to, you know, as much as, you know, people are making a big deal out of playing in the PTU, I guarantee you it's nothing in comparison to what we're experiencing in live builds. Because we went from the PTU, and I remember in 318, it was a shit fight to start off with when we got to wave 1, and then it settled and it, you know, got manageable, and then when it went live, it was the worst. I haven't seen a patch that bad go live. But we all ended up with, you know, problems and issues that we never experienced before. That's not the player's fault. You know, people want to check out your game, people want to, you know, you market a product, people want to, you know, engage with it. I would say that for, you know, like the responsibility that we have to pretty much this entire process is that we have none. You don't have to test, you don't have to play. You can wait until the game's finished. But if you do want to, you know, play, and you do, you know, if you do want to play, then you do have to come with the understanding that at minimum, CIG's got to treat you as though you're a dumb client. You know, you're bloody taking up bandwidth, you're causing the servers to take load on, you know, perform calculations and all that sort of good stuff. And CIG is just trying to shape the landscape now so that the player base that they have is the player base that they desire, that can achieve what they want without them having to kind of manipulate us or, you know, sit there and say, you have to do something. Is it, you know, it's one of those things where they can't put that expectation on us. They can't sit there and say, you have to test this, because everybody would be like, all right, well, what are you paying? And we're not paid. They can ask us, but they can't make us. Unless they reshape the landscape to fit their needs better, which is what this wave, you know, shake-up is. Reshaping of the landscape to fit their needs better. Now, you know, is it the best? Not really. It doesn't affect me, but, you know, there's a lot of whales out there that being, you know, that are really butthurt about it. But it is what it is. You know, they weren't really helping in the first place. And CIG clearly isn't concerned about pissing them off. But yeah, like, we'll continue watching. I don't know if we'll end up doing the third video now, because it's been a lot of repetition. And we're like already an hour and a half into this one. Into this particular topic. Actually, no, we'd be closer to an hour and 10.
To massive desync and some people not even being able to play the game for a couple weeks. Then 319 had a similar problem with a long PTU patch cycle and more issues with the release. And again, all of this is centering around the fact that the new tech that they're using right now, PES, which is building up to server meshing, needs people stress testing it before it goes to live. And stress testing it after every single patch, because every patch tries to resolve problems that they found in the earlier patches, and if no one's testing it, they can't make sure that the fix is actually a fix. Not being able to test this way has led to us continually having this massive player desync that we've been experiencing, up to the point where some players are just invisible and going around killing people invisible. It makes trying to play impossible with friends, and certainly impossible in any kind of competitive event like Jumptown. So with this graph and with this context, I personally understand why they're trying to do this, and I support them trying to make a change to get that effect. I think the problem is, again, communication and the fact that people have just gotten used to getting early access. A lot of people look at the PTU as a way to see their shiny new ship that they spent a lot of money on early before anybody else can. And that's not really the point of the test environment. It's literally an environment for testing, and that's how it needs to work. So their focus on not trying to cater to people who've spent a lot of money and more towards making it a proper test environment makes a lot of sense if you want the game to fix problems, which I personally do. If you think about it, it's inevitable that people are going to be angry about losing access because it necessitates them limiting who can get into the game early so that they want to play the game later. That's how they bring that curve up and make sure more people are playing towards the end of the cycle so that they can get a proper test environment done and fix the issues at hand. There are only a couple of problems the way I see it that they've not really addressed. The first one is that if they're going to still allow subscribers in Wave 1, it seems to me that they're still going to have a huge spike, especially because a lot of people in Concierge have disposable income and will probably pay for that subscription. I mean, maybe it's just a marketing ploy, but it seems to be maybe a little bit counter to what they're trying to achieve, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those subscribers will still have a huge drop off and it will still fix the curve. The other issue is that I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to fix the problem. Especially with extremely long patch testing cycles, there needs to be, in my opinion, more incentive to keep people in the game and playing it in PTU. Because right now, there is no reward for it for the majority of people. There are a top 3 selected who win some ships. This is something they started to do recently, but it's just not enough. There needs to be something that everybody can earn in some way that's made where it can't be exploited too badly. Of course, anything they make is going to be exploited in some way. Somebody's going to game the system. That's unavoidable, but if they're trying to get more testers, they need to set up some kind of reward system. Most people go back to the PU because they want to continue progressing. They want to continue earning. They don't want to have their progress reset every single patch like what happens in the PTU cycle. So say giving them some brownie points towards purchasing something on the website or getting some cool skins or a subscriber item or something for playing X number of hours, however they want to structure it, I think would do a lot more than this wave thing that they're planning on doing. Though maybe the wave thing needs to be done as well in addition to providing some rewards. But I want to know what you guys think down below. Where are you right now? Does this help quell your frustration with my explanation, or are you still frustrated with CIG's changes? If so, let me know. And if you think there should be a reward system like me, how would you structure rewards? How would you do it so it can't be too badly exploited? And would it actually encourage you to play the PTU? I've been more.
He's being morphologist. It's the second time I've heard somebody talk about a reward-based system. Yeah, it's interesting, Glance, that he structured the video that way. I'm kind of curious about the analytics of the performance of this video now to see, because most of the time with videos, the analytics show, you get the most amount of engagement at the start. People, will watch your content and then it slowly drops off over time, right? This video would not be any different. And for me, towards the end, I kind of started losing interest, but I've been talking about this subject for close to an hour and 20 minutes, so it kind of makes sense that I'm losing interest in it. The majority of his audience, though, may not be, so they may be watching all the way through to the end. But, it's not unusual for, like the first half of your video having the most amount of engagement and then the latter half not. Which means the way that he structured his video has all the controversy at the start and then all the facts are at the end. And, if people are dropping off before they get to that end part, all they've got is the controversy and they're just reacting on that. Well, you know, like we've got a rewards-based system already that we've experienced with the we've experienced it a couple of times with the guide system, right? Just going to switch to face cam now. We experienced the guide system, and this was one of those things where it's like, all right, well, you know, we could look at that system. You know, like if you're meeting the criteria, you know, for testing, and you're doing X amount of hours in the PTU, maybe that's how you can perform, or, you know, like maybe that's how you can, you know, encourage people to load test. Spend X amount of hours in the PTU. Keep trying to log in. You know, every attempt matters. But it doesn't address the problem that CIG has when it comes to, you know, how much money that they're spending on servers. You know, the server load at the start of a PTU, Wave 1 PTU. It would help them maintain load on the servers if they introduced a reward system that they could track. But remember, the PTU is a more volatile environment. So whatever system that they put in place to track, you know, those players who are actually participating in the PTU may break as well. So yeah. They also gave people LTI ship packages to people who did certain things in the PTU. Yeah, that's right. What was it? Voidy got a MSR or something? Because no, that was different. I know that they've done it. I know that they've done rewards for what's it called? The guides, if, you know, the ones who did the most amount of guiding for a specific thing. And that is a really good point there, Sparkle. Like, the more people who would have known about it, the more people who would have stuck around. But CIG sucks at communication. Like, you know, their communication sucks. It's just, there are different ways that CIG could approach this. That said, they're not going to stop people from complaining. And, you know, like, taking things away from players. I think, whilst it kind of hurts CIG in one way, it's, you know, CIG's been doing this long enough to know what they can and can't get away with. So yeah, like, they knew that they were going to get backlash, but unless they start seeing that, you know, that pit of money drying up, they'll continue doing things that may piss off people. All right. I'm going to leave this up to you guys here in the chat. We have one more video. Oh, shut up, Mike. Wait your turn. Fuck. Man. I waited. Anyway. I've got Salty Mike's video here. It's his reaction video to this post, and he'll pretty much go through all this, the same stuff that I did too. Do we want to go through that, or do we want to move on to the next thing? Because we've been on this topic for a while. No, for some of you, you know, we're going around in circles a bit. I'm not phased either way. Like, I could probably talk about this for another hour if I really wanted to, but I'm kind of the mindset that we should probably move along. Next topic, we've got two. You can see the pain in my eyes. We've got 4 people saying move along. 5 people to say move along. Alright, that's 33% or close to it. Alright. We'll move along. Sorry, Mike, you miss out. Next time. Got some good pauses for the compilation though. Oh man. It's gonna be good. I wish I had thought about it before I'd done the editing on the other videos too now. I might actually be able to do it. I might still be able to do it. We'll see. Alright. I'll finish off this then. The controversy that's trying to be drummed up about Wave 1 being changed so that playtime matters more to gaining Wave 1 access. The fact that that keeps getting glossed over, I don't think helps COG at all. The problem here is that a lot of content creators, like, things are slowing down for Star Citizen now for the 3.19 patch. We're kind of in need of new, fresh, new sexy, new fresh things to talk about and show off. So when something like this comes up, focusing on the controversy helps bring in, the clicks, helps bring in the views and all that sort of good stuff. That said though, it doesn't help COG, and realistically, I would put blame on, I don't put all the blame on COG on this one. Normally I would. I'd sit there and go, COG, this is your fault with your shitty communication. I personally think that COG communicated it clearly enough what was going on. The problem is that those who were affected are also very loud and, focused only on the worst possible part. And because of that, the content creators latched onto that and have just amplified the negativity. It's like, I'm probably going to try and make a video. It'll be like a 2-minute video, and it's going to be about how to give Wave 1 access to the PTU for free. How to get Wave 1 access in the 320 PTU. It'll be a 2-minute video. Fucking play the game. And just 2 minutes of saying, play the game. All right, what you do, you start your launcher, you get in the game, and you play it for the next couple of hours. And you do that every day. Yeah, do this one trick to get Wave 1 PTU access for free. You know what I mean? Like, you can meme the fuck out of this now. And obviously all the content creators here are just jumping on the, the negativity of it. Because, bad news sells more than good news. Should slowly record your mouse cursor to open the game. Yeah. But yeah, it's COG could have done a lot better job communicating it. I kind of like that Morph, showed a graph and said, and visually represented what COG was talking about. He could have fucking done it at the start though of his video. This could cause a wave of macro users just fainting activity to get access. Maybe not. Like, if they end up doing that, then they can monitor what people are doing. If they're actually doing inputs or anything, if their position's changing for hours on end. Like, everything that we do can be tracked in that game. Our position is tracked and communicated to others. If they really want to track that and log that, even if they were doing like a log of every 5 minutes, where are they 5 minutes? Next 5 minutes, where are they now? Have they moved? Have they picked up a mission? What have they done recently? They could do all that sort of stuff. It really comes down to, is the juice worth the squeeze for what they're doing in the PTU? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. COG's going to have to try first. That's the thing. But yeah, like, I'm not surprised in the sense of the community being upset about this. The irony, though, is that the surprising part is that they're complaining about not getting access to test when they don't test. And they're not, to be honest, I think a lot of them are being selfish. It's like, I want to look at my thing, I don't care that it's going to cost COG more money and that, we set them up for failure, because that's essentially what's happening, is COG gets set up for failure by having a huge load come in, huge load of players come in they're like, oh sweet, we got all this extra data. Now we need, you know, more people showing up, and then they're not seen again. Like, that's fucked. How do you test, you know, do load testing in an environment like that? You'd have to rely on headless clients, which CIG already does. But it's not the same as getting, you know, thousands of players to concurrently join from different locations all over the world using different machines, like genuine different machines, as opposed to simulated. But, you know, I'm either Cardi, so I don't give a fuck. Eat a bag of dicks to all those who didn't pay enough money. You know, who aren't subscribers and, you know, lose your Wave 1 access because you show up for 5 minutes every fucking major patch cycle. You know, if you want Wave 1 access, buy a subscription or play the fucking game more. Or just become Legatus. At the end of the day, I don't care. Now, that's enough of this. Let's move on. This is going to start. Shut up! Shut up. Wait your turn. You should say eat a bag of dicks to everyone that didn't put enough bug reports in. Yeah, that's right. But just become Eva Cardi. You won't have to worry about paying money. Ever. Oh, man. Alright. We are moving on. Here is the next bit of content that we're going to be reacting to. Just post it in chat there. And this video I thought was interesting. I haven't watched it. This was suggested, I think, by Nelson. So, here we go. Is hiring escorts worth it? The math behind counter piracy. I don't know if this is actually associated with the a post that we reacted to last week in Spectrum, but you know, like, we covered a Spectrum post last week about the math behind. No, not last week. The week before. It was the first stream. About the math behind, you know, like escorts and all that. So maybe this video is a response to it or not. It's from 10 days ago. So yeah, it might actually be based on that Spectrum post. But this is Habanero Sauce, 132 subscribers. Never heard of this guy. 2.1k views, so that's not too shabby for a small channel. But yeah, let's watch and see what Habanero Sauce has to say about whether or not, or about the math behind counter piracy.
Recently, there has been a trend of gameplay within Star Citizen. To some, it's a lot of fun. There is great glory to be had, but to others, it's a source of frustration, anger, and saltiness. Yeah, we're talking about piracy. It isn't just piracy, though. It's an all-out attack on any cargo runner that exists in the game. Every day, there are new people whining in Global about how someone just rammed their C2 within an armistice. He's in the door. SMO-18 and SMO-10 have been an absolute graveyard, scattered ships everywhere, and even more cargo all over the ground that is absolutely untouchable. But not only that, New Babbage, the cell location, is littered as well with broken ships and cargo that is absolutely unreachable. What's up? How's it going? My name is Habanero Sauce, and thank you for watching.
"60 seconds in and he's doing his intro."
Hey, before the video starts, I want to point out that I have a special offer for organizations, so stick to the end of the video and figure out what I've got. A few friends and I have discovered some gameplay that keeps on giving. We sell our services as mercenaries. We don't just go into the mercenary tab and we find a mercenary mission to do, defending a site or doing something like that. We reach out to other organizations or streamers and see if they need our services. Sometimes they need an opposing force, or another time they need to bolster their numbers for an event, or sometimes they just need general protection.
Is this guy just advertising his org?
Is another area all in itself. There's been a lot of videos about griefing or piracy, and my buddy Rivergrit over at Pax Mortis said this.
Even better, hire PvP orgs, or at least friend some PvP orgs. Not just the mercenary orgs, I'm talking like the real PvP orgs that literally just play the game to fight people 24/7. That's it.
There has not ever been a time in the org that I am in that we have ever been hired to escort someone for cargo. And it isn't for lack of trying either. If you don't know, you can go to the RSI website, go to organizations, filter the results to organizations, corporations, what have you.
I mentioned this last week in Stranger Danger's video. And it's don't talk, do. Like this B-roll, yeah, it's cool. Like they're using a M50 to board ships, crack the door open with scatter guns, ballistic scatter guns, and then they're able to just fly in and do a boarding action. That's cool. But if you're going to, talk about how to do something, like once again, a how-to, even if it's a component of the video, show, don't just talk about it. Yes, it does mean that you got to put a bit more effort in, but if you want more engagement, that's what you're going to need to do. The irony is that old mate's got 2,100 views on this, which isn't shabby for 2,100 views over 10 days, and he's only got 102 subs. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Maybe he'd have a lot more subs if he was showing this sort of stuff, putting that effort in the content creation. So far, this has been a bit all over the place, though. Like, it sounds like he was advertising for his org. I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard for me to sit there and really be able to take what he's saying too seriously just yet, because a lot of what he's talking about I already know as well. So for some people who are watching this video, it is brand spanking new information, so it may be more engaging to them. For me, it's not. So I'm having a little bit of trouble just maintaining engagement, especially with the slow pacing of this video. Like, it's 15 minutes. We'll keep watching, because I have a feeling that it's going to be a bit more interesting. They do talk about the math behind counter piracy, but if they start talking about numbers and they're not putting numbers up on the screen for me to follow, I'll probably end the video. Because I don't want to hear about numbers, I'd rather see the numbers. I'm watching a fucking video, it's a visual thing. I don't need to watch your bloody board, ships over and over again in your M50.
And then even specify that you're looking for someone that is in trading. If they have a Discord link, you can join their Discord and ask one of the admins in the server if they would like your help. We have done this. And a lot of times we will find someone that says yes with intention, but we've never had any action on that. No one reaches out to say we need help running our cargo. And even recently within the PU, I had a conversation with a cargo runner where they were telling me that hiring escorts is not needed. So confused, especially with all the stuff that's been happening lately and the rise of piracy, my friends and I decided to find out the ins and outs of one cargo run. The plan was simple. What is the profit of hauling as many drugs as we could buy in 1 hour? 1 hour seemed to be a simple plan. Most people can commit to at least 1 hour of their time.
Why drugs? Like, if you really wanted to know the cargo hauler experience, you'd be going to the areas where the cargo haulers are going and buying under load. So you'd be looking at SMO 18 as the most likely site. Shubin SCD one on Daymar could also be another site that you could go to. Where you're experiencing tick trading. Or you could go to Smo 10, Smo 22 and do barrel runs, or you could go to IDA and do the same thing. The irony behind this test is that you're going to have varied experiences based on what you're hauling and where you're hauling from and where you're hauling to. And that's the thing about this, is that you can't really sit there and go, oh yeah, we're going to do an hour of cargo hauling and this is what it's like, and go, yeah, this is the definitive proof. He's probably not going to say definitive proof, but this is our proof, this is our argument, this is our justification for the points that we're about to make. It may work on people who don't know or understand these things, but like, I'm watching this video and I do understand these things. I have been doing cargo hauling. I've been doing piracy a lot longer than fucking most of the guys who make videos about it. Or, like, my first complaint was about, not showing, just talking and not showing. But this next one is like, going to people and going, hey, we're offering our services to, we protect you from pirates. All you got to do is just call us up, and we'll run escort for you. And it's like, look, I've mentioned this a few times. And I don't think it's getting out to the mercenary orgs. But with the way that piracy first started in Star Citizen is that you had to go out there and make it happen. In fact, it's the thing that you have to do. You have to go out and find people to pirate. Which means that you got to learn about what your targets are doing. And the irony here is that these guys are going out and they're going to the haulers and going, hey, we'll protect you from pirates. The thing though is like, the haulers, not every hauler needs, an escort. If there are pirates around, they definitely need one. But there's not always pirates around. And the thing is that they need to adapt their tactics. They're focusing on, trying to get work, through users, and then sitting there going, the system doesn't work. Like, the system isn't working because you're not trying hard enough. I've seen it happen in games. Some groups do it, where they just show up at SMO 18, they're like, hey, we're here to help anybody. If you end up under attack by pirates, hit us up. We'll be in the area. That's it. Yeah, exactly, Ozil. Like, that's how it should be. Like, just find haulers. Like, fly to the areas where haulers are hanging out at, and then just patrol the area. And if pirates show up, or pirates try to do an attack them. Engage the pirates. And I'm going to tell you now, like, the mentality that you need to go the haulers first to get the work before going into the game is backwards. Like, you should be in the game first. That's where the pirates are. And you should be raiding, setting up patrols, kicking around. It's not going to be fun, sexy, or cool, but that's security work. 90% of the time, it's boring as batshit. If you're sitting there expecting to be PvPing the entire time doing security work for other players, you've missed the point. Good security is security that is designed to look mean and look threatening so that nothing happens.
Time. It's manageable and it's measurable. Additionally, it's a simple enough measurement to compare to the other tasks in the game. What could I make salvaging in 1 hour? What could I make doing ERTs in 1 hour? What could I make doing bunkers in 1 hour? After some consideration with the average over all players, the wait times for ships, the potential risks, and the skill floors and skill ceilings represented over the entire player base, we calculated that for 1 hour, 100k
Hey, he's got numbers on the screen.
AUEC is a pretty decent payout. There are definitely ways that you can get paid more within the game, but this seemed to be, what's worth my time? 100k. So we had 2 questions to ask during this operation. What makes it worthwhile for the escort? Can an escort justify spending an hour of their time watching and waiting and being bored? And additionally, what makes it worthwhile for the cargo hauler? So we decided that instead of going to SMO 18 or to SMO 10, that we would run drugs. With both of those places being quite hot with piracy lately, or just
Quite hot with piracy lately? No, they're not. They're nowhere near the fucking same level of activity of piracy as fucking SMO 18. Nowhere near it. The hell is this shit? If anything, you can run drugs and not have to worry about seeing another person. I was doing it on fucking stream last week. This is cherry picking data. Go to fucking SMO 18 and try this shit and see how long you last.
general people that are trying to ruin someone's day, drugs have been remarkably safe. I myself will try to pirate a random illegal goods runner here and there, and I have yet to find any in recent weeks. So I took my new Caterpillar with its Foundation Festival paint, and we went to Crusader. Crusader has 4 drug stations, more than any other planetary body in Stanton. These are Jumptown, NT999XX on Yella, Private Property on Selen, and New and Waste on Daymar. Not all of these drug stations are the same. We went to each one of them, we bought a few drugs from each of them, but we found that Jumptown had a restock within 10 minutes. And with less and less people spending their time at Jumptown and other servers trying to take the shared inventory for it, we found that usually at about every 10 minutes, it was pretty faithful to have about 15 SCU per item. For this operation, I hired 2 of my ragtag friends. I ended up with 3, but it still works. One of them, we'll call him the active escort, was to be with me 24/7. By the end, this guy was even complaining that he couldn't even get out to go drink. He went before me to every single location to scout ahead to make sure the route was clear, and he would sit in the air pinging the entire time that I was inside of the building, making sure that there were no hostiles in the AO. The other 2 were in the same ship, a gunner and the pilot. They did not have to be with me the entire time. We'll call that passive escort. They just had to be nearby. While I was doing my cargo runs, they were doing their errands. They could do bunkers, they could do whatever. I think these 2 went and bought a quantum drive and cleared a crime stat. The pay also varied between the 2 escorts. The escort that was with me the entire time, we had concluded beforehand that he would get 20%. After all, I'm demanding all of his time. I'm asking him that though it's boring, that he doesn't go AFK, that he doesn't fool around, that he sits with me the entire time, and that he would be diligent in scanning in the air while I bought drugs. The other 2 only got 10%, and that's only because we needed them to be nearby and to be available whenever we called, especially when we went to go sell. All in all, I was on track to lose 40% of the total profit. Here's how the numbers turned out.
You are not losing credits by hiring security. It is an insurance policy to protect your cargo. For fuck's sakes. Like this whole mentality, oh, I'm losing credits because I'm paying for somebody that, isn't doing anything. That's what insurance is. In real life, when you have insurance for your car, you give the insurance company money in case something happens to your car so that you can get it fixed or replaced. To sit there and say, oh, I'm losing all this money by paying for, these escorts. That's your insurance right there. Yeah, exactly. No, like the fucking, this is funny because I've brought this up for years. It's like all you need to do is just create, put a high value commodity at a fucking location and watch people flock to it. That was Jumptown. That was the original Jumptown. High value commodity, large supply, large profit margin, high risk. Came from, everybody knowing about and going there. Leave my game alone at the end of the conversation, yeah. But yeah, like the mentality that you're losing money when you're paying for security and when is dumb. People need to reframe that in their head. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter if it's AI, it doesn't matter if it's other players, it won't matter at any stage of the game. If you have to pay for security, you're always going to say, I'm losing credits. It's like, no, you're paying credits to ensure that you can keep your cargo. And realistically, what you're paying your security escorts, as in, for an insurance policy, consideration, should be way less than having to pay for, insurance to replace your cargo. But I'm pretty sure CIG is just going to gamify that. Rare commodities and elite would work in Star Citizen. Well, we already have one. What was it, that Genolite? That rare gem that's like in the bottom of only sand caves that fucking you can barely find anywhere. Like, we've got that. I don't know how many people are actually chasing it though. It was like, sexy for 5 minutes in 3.19 and then it just kind of died off. I think once we got the economy there, Eddie, I think once we've got the economy going, that's when we'll start seeing that being a bit more important. Yeah, that's just somebody being taught a lesson about Star Citizen and security there, no that. You're doing them a service. Alright, we're halfway through. Let's get through this.
In my pocket, I had 2.5 million AUEC. In 1 hour, I was able to fill just over 40% of my Caterpillar with drugs. What was left in my pocket is 500k. Let's say that I spent 2 million. When we left to sell, I asked all 3 escorts to be with me the entire time. When I sold and had 300k in my pocket, meaning that I had just profited 500k. That's a 25% profit. Now I have to pay the escorts. I pay for all 3 at 40%. This is about 200k of my 500k. One of those took 50% of that profit. The other 2 took 25. The one that spent an hour with me made almost 100k, while the other 2, just for spending 15 minutes with me, made about 50k each. Now, I know that there might be questions on what was fair and what was a fair price, but these were things that these mercenaries agreed to before we started. I think it is safe to say that the mercenaries got paid well for their time as escorts. But the real question is this: is it worth it for the cargo hauler? Now, here is where I'm going to admit, I am not a cargo hauler by any means. I usually do the escort job or do the PvP job. So buying a Caterpillar running cargo is not my main thing. But I still made a profit in the end. While I paid 40% to my escorts, I still made 60%. If I wanted to go do that run again, I was not in the hole. I'd be able to do it again and do it again and do it again, all the while having at least a little bit of profit. Everything else in the game splits the income. If you go do an ERT, you have to split the income evenly with everybody. If you go do a salvaging run and people are working for you to get this salvage done and every job is needed, it's usually understood that everyone shares the income. But for some reason, I have found that cargo haulers do not like the sharing of the income. They are used to getting 100% of the profits every single time. In the past, when the game didn't have the cargo refactor or didn't have any of the dangers, at least not as many of them, it made more sense to get 100% of the profit.
I don't know if I want to finish this. The problem that I have with this, test that he's using is that it's one isolated case. They're running drugs. They're going to locations that don't get frequented by players. And like his security rotation is retarded. I don't know. Like, I have a military background, so when he's talking about having, an escort that's active with him all the time, and then two guys just off doing whatever, and they're on call, it's like, all right, so he's got, he's got his escort with him, and he's got a QRF, right? That's what he's got. Quick reaction force, and his escort, his security. And old mate, who's his security, is sitting there going, fuck, I've got to spend an hour doing this. And I'm just like, all right. One, an hour is a long time to be doing that. And I don't blame his friends sitting there complaining about that. So as a mercenary org, why not mitigate that boredom by rotating your security through the active position? Like 20 minutes each active, 40 minutes passive. They could have done it that way. They could stagger their escorts. So instead of the one guy, jumping ahead and scouting the place out, the security guys who jump, there's three of them. So if Olme goes to 3 sites, he can have them go ahead. You can have one go ahead to one and he goes and joins them. Okay, and then one of the other security guys, all right, we're getting ready to leave. Buddy Bob number 2, buddy jumped to the next location and scouted out while I'm on the way. Bob number 1, you can go do something, you can go run a bunker or something like that now. Like, I don't know, like to me, it seems like, for me, I'm just having trouble quantifying how they aren't coming up with these solutions. Like why aren't you attempting to come up with better solutions for this? Like I'm glad that they're at least trying. You know, they're having a crack. That's good. You know, like, it's a start. We shouldn't need to sit there and say, you know, like, you know, baby people through that. I don't think one test is good enough. Like, this, the data behind this is just shit. But you know, the other point is like, these guys really need to think more about how they approach providing security. And I hope maybe they talk about it towards the end of the video. You know, we've still got 4 minutes left. Maybe they talk about it more. You know, we're about to go into the AAR part, but I just needed to pause and just, you know, take a small breather from this. Because the way I'm seeing it is that what we're looking at here is the average mentality of, you know, the player. Like, this is the mentality of the average player in Star Citizen who isn't making those sorts of considerations. They're the ones that are essentially being spoon-fed their content. You know, like, until CIG is implementing AI that do these things, the players just aren't going to think about these solutions unless there's a content creator showing them how to do it. But yeah, like, with what's going on with this, you know, test here, I'm just not... Could have been done better, but, like, the positive is that they're trying. I wouldn't call this conclusive data, though.
If I did this run without any escorts, I would make 100% of the profit. I would make 500k. If I did this 4 times, I just doubled my initial investment. And on the 5th one, I would make 125%. Piracy is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. It is not going to go away with the next patch. It's not going to dwindle down as criminal activities get more punishments or if bounty hunting changes in any way. Every single patch and every single advancement, pirates will become more and more clever and find more ways to hit you. So, in one of those 5, what if a pirate had hit me?
I guarantee you on this point that he's making that we will see a drop in piracy activity once the punishments start coming in for piracy. For starters, old mate is showing, you know, him conducting boarding actions on fucking haulers. So he's committing acts of piracy himself. And he's supposed to be in a mercenary org. Don't think he's going to be doing piracy if he's supposed to be a mercenary when the punishments come in. So there will be a drop in piracy activity. Right now it is flourishing because it's the risk to pirates is low, but not for the reason that a lot of the screen-licking Care Bears scream that, you know, the risk to piracy is low. It's not because the punishments are non-existent. It's because we're fucking essentially pirating NPCs who fucking crash when we, you know, disable their ship. That is the main reason why piracy is low risk. The risk to us when we're conducting acts of piracy comes from the people we pirate. If you don't have escorts, if you don't have security, we're just going to walk all over you. That's just it. That's how it works. You know, contact these security orgs. Or put a call out and just say, hey, is there anybody patrolling around, you know, X place? You know, SMO 18. Honestly, and I've seen this happen before where security orgs will just hover around places of interest and they'll stop anybody, you know, coming in for free. And then haulers will tip them. Hey, you know, thanks for being around here. You know, thanks for the assist. Thanks for providing some security here. You know, here's 50k. That is 100% true, Ozil and Adrian. We're dealing with a lot of tourists at the moment. And illegal and legal will mean something. So we should see a drop off in activity. But yeah. Alright, let's get going. We're almost done.
If they hit me on number 5, I would be a little over 0. I wouldn't have necessarily lost anything, but I did also just waste 5 hours of my time. But I had no escorts. What if they hit me on number 1? I would be crying at 500k. Now, here's the thing. Escorts are not 100%. If you go up against a organized group of pirates, it's likely that you will lose your cargo. But weighing the risks and rewards of hiring escorts, to me, it doesn't make sense to not hire them. I've ran into some people that have friends that will run escort for them as well. You don't even have to hire those people.
Of course, the guy who's a part of a security org is saying, yeah, hire escorts. I salute you for wanting that. I really do, but your data is not going to convince the audience that you think that is going to convince.
Sometimes they will do it for free. Now that begs into question, if they're doing it for free, how committed are they to doing it? Will they be AFK when you need them? Will they be that good if you need them? Those are all questions, but weighing the risks and rewards, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But again, I'm not a cargo hauler, so I will rest in confusion and wait to be called. We will still be diligent about asking people if they want escorts, but until cargo haulers realize that it's okay to share your profit, I think it's not going to be something that happens.
God damn it. Sort your audio out.
I am getting bummed out by all the negative organization drama. Hypocrite this, we hate that, don't go to this person.
We're getting a lot of deja vu from these clips. These was it just before the change here? We're
Realize
running
that
out
it's
to the ship.
okay to share your profit. I think it's not going to be something that happens.
Right. And then
I am getting bummed out by all the negative organization drama. Hypocrite this, we hate that, don't go to this person. I have had an awesome time building a community, and I would like to share that with others. If you're watching this and you are part of an org or you lead your own organization, I would like to have a tour of your org on my channel. Think of it as a free trailer or advertisement. Now here's the thing, I am super friendly, but I'm not going to be your friend in this. I will be honest, I will talk about what it is, and even if I rate my own organization, it would get high rankings in some things, but maybe not in others. But I believe it will really be a fun way to do my part in building the community. The qualifications are quite simple. Your org needs to have over 50 members on the RSI website. This makes you a, quote, large org. If you are not that large, but you believe you should still be toured, the only other...
Why? Why would I care about you touring my org? Like, I don't understand the premise behind this. I'm curious. I'm not interested in watching the rest of this. I'm more curious about his channel and what he's got here. So let's have a look. Videos. Ragtag, not much there. That's it. Alrighty. He wants to access my walled off garden for his benefit? No. YouTube's a cutthroat business. Get fucked. You're not joining my fucking org to look in. Bloody don't send him over to Kate. Oh, mate. Alright. an attempt was made. Look, I don't want to discourage him because like I think his intent is good. I think he's putting a bit too much emphasis on trying to do outreach to the community yet. That said, though, I honestly think that he should probably be focusing more on just building up his own org before trying to reach out. A young Earth creationist evolution denier with his data gathering. Like, yeah, the way I see it, focus on the gameplay. Like, just focus on gameplay. That's what you're there for. Don't get too much into the philosophical side of things. Do more cargo hauling so that you understand your clientele base that you want to target better. Engage in piracy gameplay as well so that you understand your opponents better. Their motivations, what they're trying to do, how they're going to do things. That all said, though, it's like, focus on your own org first, man, before trying to expand out. Focus on just building up the combat part of your org. Like, just go to SMO 18. Go to SMO 18. Just announce yourselves. Hey, what is it? Ragtag Mercs. The Ragtag Mercs of bloody, we're providing security at SMO 18. All right, if you're here to haul, you're safe. You don't have to pay anything for it. If we see you show up in anything that isn't a cargo hauler, we're going to query you. And if we assess that you're a pirate, then we'll attack. Drug running and cargo hauling. Drug running and cargo hauling is still the same thing in the sense of the activity. It's just the differences come from the contents that you're actually hauling. And then you got the tick rate, like the economy side of things changes things up. But yeah, like, if I was going to approach this from a security organization perspective, I'd just be hanging out at SMO 18. That's what I'd be doing. I'd just be flying around there. I'd be talking in chat. I'd be like, hey, I'm such and such. I'm bloody Agens Leti from bloody, super cool security org, bloody 2000. And, I'm providing, free security around SMO 18. If you're a cargo hauler, bloody, feel free to come on down. Bloody, if we see anybody attacking you, we'll help you out. And bloody, if you want to send us a tip for helping you out, bloody, let us know, or feel free to send it to me. It's not required though. It's a nicety, not a necessity. Ozzel, you should mention your org. Like, it's about building up a brand. Like Mongrel Squad is a brand for the organization. Putting the stuff on YouTube, talking about piracy gameplay, making posts, engaging with content creators, doing streams like this. This is all about building up the Mongrel Squad brand as well. Pushing Mongrel Squad's name out there, letting people know, hey, yeah, we're a piracy organization. This is what we do. This is how we do it. If you're interested in doing it, join us through this avenue now. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing streams with the Pack Rats and the Cartel, showing off what we do there, because I'm trying to do the same thing. It's like, this is the Stellar Pack Rat logistics. This is what we do. Same with the Cartel. This is America's Cartel. This is what we do. If you're interested in joining, join. This is how you do it. Building up the brands, it takes time, it takes effort. You have to be consistent. Consistency is the key. But, you know, like people talk about, you know, like, oh, the reputation, you know, system doesn't exist. And they use that as like an excuse for not, you know, knowing an organization worth, you know, like utilizing as a tool. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, like putting your name out there and delivering, you know, putting your name out there and delivering, proving that you're capable. That's how you build reputation. Okay, it could be a fucking number in a video game, but guess what? We don't have that yet for player organizations or individual players. It's with the AI, and it's, you know, like this fucking shitty rating system that they've got there based on, you know, the missions that you do for them. If you want to build reputation, which is a form of currency, reputation is a form of social currency, right? To build that, you need to prove that you're capable and that you're consistent and that you are what you say you are. So, you know, for us, making the videos helped us out a lot. You know, putting out Spectrum posts, engaging with people, talking, as I said, doing these streams. That all is creating that reputation and, you know, social currency with the community. We do get contacted by people to pirate others on their behalf. After Shattered Delusions, we got several messages from people contracting us. They wanted to contract us to do assassinations. And we're like, you know, in-game, need to make sure that's clear. It was all in-game, nothing in real life. You know, assassinating, you know, players in-game. And it's like, one, we're pirates, and two, what are you hoping to achieve out of this? You know, like, you're not really going to hurt them. You know, we had to drop some truth bombs on some people there. It's like, it's not going to have the effect that you want. You're going to see it, you'll see the videos, and you'll feel good about it for like 5 minutes, and then, you know, whatever that person did to you, unless it was in the game, if it's outside the game, if it was in like a Discord or something like that, or, you know, they said mean things about you, it's not going to help you. Like, killing them in the game isn't going to help you. You know, you're better off just letting go of that negativity. But, you know, like, the reputation that we got from Shattered Delusions was that, you know, people could contract us and, you know, utilize our capabilities to achieve a goal that they wanted, which was, you know, player assassinations of the persistent universe. And it's not that we couldn't do it, it was more that it wasn't worth it. And it wasn't part of our branding. This is why we focus more on piracy ops. You know, Mongrel Squad still isn't that widely known amongst the Star Citizen community, but if you speak to certain content creators, they know who we are. And they talk with their audiences about us. And that's how you gain a rep. You got to know the right people too. You got to get in the ears of the right people as well. But you've also got to be able to deliver. So having the right reputation, building that up, being consistent and delivering on what you say. I can tell you now, like, a lot more people have heard of us than what they let on, but we're still not that widely known amongst the community, and I'm okay with that. Our time will come. You know, it'll come. My main focus has always been on Mongrel Squad, building ourselves up. Now I've got the Mongrel Corps and 3 other organizations because I don't have enough time, enough to do, apparently. Building those capabilities up. So yeah. I'll link the video again. It's probably going to start playing, isn't it? It's going to start playing. Shut up! I'm going to link the video again. If you guys want to go back and watch it, I think we finished it on like 5 or so seconds, or a minute or so, but I don't think we're going to miss much in the last bit. Yeah. Honestly, just focus on building a reputation first, man, for your organization, and, you know, delivering on what you guys want to do. Like, trying to convince the haulers to hire you is admirable, but they're probably still not going to do it. I've been doing piracy for quite a few years now in Star Citizen. The majority of the time when haulers are using security, it's org mates, and it's kind of a forced thing for them. They're just doing it for the sake of it. You're better off hanging around SMO 18, just patrolling around. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be cool. You're probably not going to get paid, but you need to focus more on building up your guys' reputation. And this is to all security orgs. Build up your reputation. Build up your reputation for your organization, that you're a security org and that you deliver. You may be doing it for free for a while, but you get to know enough people, you get to know the right people. You may be able to build up yourselves to getting regular paid gigs. Some organizations like to run convoys, and they'll try and sort out security, but they don't have enough people. Well, if you meet the right people within those organizations, you may get hired as their security. But going to their discords and going, hey, let us be your escorts, isn't going to get you very far. You're better off proving your worth to them first, which is by showing. And yeah, at the end of the day, you should try and find people who are more focused on gameplay and not on making numbers going big in their wallet. Which is kind of hard when you're dealing with haulers, but yeah. Good luck on your fight, man. I wish you well. I wish there was more people like you. And for everybody else in chat, guys, if you are part of security organizations and that, just get the fuck out there. Go to SMO 18, hang out there, put the message out. SMO 18's under our, protection. If you're a hauler, you're cool to come in, buy your cargo. We'll make sure you don't get harassed. Tips are welcome. Nicety, not a necessity though. Guarantee you'll start seeing more haulers showing up. You'll probably get paid. You won't have to do much most of the time. And if pirates do show up, you get your PvP fix. And if the server's really quiet, just bounce to a different server, because that's what pirates do. You go, check out the locations, no targets, move on. Jump to the next server. If you guys start doing that, guarantee you'll start running into pirates. Alright. Alright. Well, we're maintaining this topic. We're maintaining the topic of anti-piracy. With the next bit of content that we're going to be watching. Just going to link the number there. Link the video. Fucking hell. What's the time? Definitely need this. You're having more fun after I learn piracy from these streams and mimic it to find heat. Getting tired there. Yeah, I've been up since 4 AM. I slept like shit last night too. Like yesterday, I live near Brisbane in Australia, and yesterday was the hottest August that we had, the hottest August day that we had in 5 years, and it nearly got to 30 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it's Oh, Stoney just got here. Yeah, guys, I'm going to be calling it there for the stream. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, Stoney was still going, man. He always shows up, for the gameplay streams, man. Normally I'm ending pretty early. I have tomorrow off though, so I'm able to stay up a bit later. But yeah. it's another reason why we put the videos out. We want people to, you know, learn about piracy. I want security orgs to try and come up with counter plays against us. That said, I'm not going to train you guys in how to be pirates, you know, directly. Fucking put the time in. We put the time in to become pirates. So, you know, you guys need to put your time in to become security. But I look forward to encounters against other security organizations and fighting people, you know, in game. I want more of that organic PvP experience, which is why I like what's going on in SMO 18. Yeah. The next bit of content that we're going to be reacting to here, guys, is still within the same vein as anti-piracy, and it comes from Noobs Gaming. So full screen this, and we're going to switch over to it. Car. Alright, and the video is, what defense does a cargo runner have against a pirate in Star Citizen? It's a 10-minute video. It's a bit interesting because we had Stranger Danger's video last week about, you know, C2 defense. So it's another reason why I'm watching this video, is that I'm curious to see what people are saying about how you can defend against pirates. Hex, are we going to do a mobile harbor demo video by chance? Maybe. It probably won't be anytime soon. 45 degrees Celsius days here in Texas with 30 at night. But you guys get the dry heat there, don't you, Eddie? You're not getting the humidity. Right, he's getting the humidity because that would suck. Thanks for dropping in, Mortimer. Catch you later, mate. So it is humid over there. Yeah, like I've never been to Texas, and most of the media that I've consumed about Texas is it always looks dry. The heat and humidity, yeah, that sucks. Like that's like Darwin during the wet season. It just sucks. Like ridiculously high heat, and then the humidity. You have a shower, you walk outside, you're sweating again and need another shower the moment that you walk out the door. Humid plus snow. As you can see, we're extremely interested in the content that we're about to react to. Humid plus snow, Norway, mountain life. But yeah, let's focus. I'll have another drink. %, around 8 AM. It's not too bad, man. It's not too bad. The wet season build up in the northern parts of Australia. I don't experience that where I'm at, but I've, you know, lived in Darwin for a bit. And during the wet season build up, it is trash. It is so bad. Like you're looking at like 80% humidity and you're getting up to 40 degrees and it just sucks. Just sucks so bad. Oh man. You can almost set your watch to the rain. Alright. Honestly, I don't know how people fucking lived in the Northern Territory, the northern parts of Australia before any sort of air conditioning. I just don't get it. Anyway, Let's come back to Noobs Gaming. In Noobs We Trust. Sure, man. What defense does a cargo runner have against a pirate and Star Citizen? Let's have a watch. And find out. What defense does a cargo runner have? I'm interested. I want to know. Because it seems like it's just Alt F4.
Yo, 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 my Star Citizens and Noob Gamers. Welcome back to another episode of Star Citizen with me, Menix. And today I'm on with my good friend Kilfanis again. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at what protection do players have against pirates. So we hope you like this video, guys. If you do like this video, don't forget to set that pointer and tick on that like button. It really does help us out with the algorithms. It's been a bit slow just recently. And don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe notification for more videos as we drop them. And leave us a comment in the comment section, guys, of what stuff you'd like to see and your thoughts on this. And yeah, so let's get into this one, guys. So, what we're doing here is I'm just showing Kilfanis how to get past this gaggle of guys here, where they're just standing in the way and you struggle to get through. And all you got to do is just lie down and then crawl through them, and that will allow you to get through. So I was just showing Kilfanis that, and just basically, you'll see it just before we get started, a couple of bugs that we came across. So here we are, just going to jump on Kilfanis' ship here, and this is the ship we're going to use, but unfortunately Kilfanis has a lot of cargo on this ship. We did a video with Kilfanis not long back. And he bought 70 stock of rubbish, basically, waste that we can't sell. And we also bought diamonds, but we've sold the diamonds. So we're going to have to get rid of that at some point. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go down to one of the pirate hotspots. I mean, the thing of today's video was to go and look at the pirates and what they're doing around the hotspot of where the gold is and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing there. So we're just going to jump on this ship and go over there. But first I wanted to show you another bug. And I wanted to show you in game what I had to do when I come across these bugs, and so you can see how I deal with them as well. So you'll see this in a minute. So here we are. I'm now in the passenger seat because the game crashed. Not crashed, but like I'm just floating around in the ship that's doing nothing. You can see the planet's turning underneath me. I've got no control of anything. And Kilfanis has actually landed and is going down to the planet side to look in the thing. So in Kilfanis' screen, he's landed. In my screen, I'm just floating around on top of the planet like this. And so what I do is I will just unplug my internet cable from the back of my computer just to force that error that comes up there. And then when that forces that error there and I come back on and join Kilfanis, as you can see that Kilfanis is now just leaving the ship. So you can see how it was totally not in sync with each other. And what I'll do is, sorry for the black screen, I will come back in with Kilfanis, and basically what it will do is it'll put me exactly where I was in that seat in the ship. So here we are. I'm just about to jump back onto the main menu here. And as you can see, I'm just loading in now, and there I am in the ship where Kilfanis.
We're 3 minutes in and we're not even talking about what defense a cargo runner has against pirates. Drink for every time he says Kilfanis. Fuck, if I'd known ahead of time that this was going to be a thing, I would have made sure I had a bottle of rum with me. And it's like shots. Fucking. I'd be, oh man, I'd be all over the place. He unplugged the cable, that's his defense. Like, they were showing them having a connection issue. So, you know, old mate floating around. But yeah. Pretty shitty if that's what he's trying to market. Essentially a lags.
So like, that's where I am, guys.
Killing his connection.
I just wanted to show you that bug and how I dealt with that bug and how I could get it back on track. And basically just pull my internet cable out and let the connection disconnect itself, rather than trying to quit the game and all that stuff. So let's get into this. So I'm going to switch over to me and Kilfanis talking. What we're going to do is going to buy up some gold. and then basically sell that gold, and then come back and see. You'll see then where we come across a pirate.
You should be able to disable the ship, shouldn't you? Sneakily, in stealth.
Seeing if he's in there talking. I can't see him talking in the thing. Let's just see where he's gone. So is it on it? The 815, the Vanguard Sentinel. So where did he go then? Where did he go?
Sentinel's still there, isn't it?
So he's up in the air. He's up in the air, or he's hanging around waiting for people to leave, I think. Let me see where he's just floating around up there. Time you can see him on the hill up there. You see him on the hill.
Yeah, but was he there last time?
I'm not too sure, but it's because it's got his name on it.
Because the ship that's behind us was there already.
Because it's got his name on this here.
Is he even doing anything?
He might be just waiting, but we're in the armistice, out of the armistice zone. See him there? So I'm pushing back, so we're in the armistice zone. So he's out of the armistice zone just waiting. And we're in the armistice zone here.
But I don't know if he's actually... Yeah.
He's in the ship because it's got his name on it. It doesn't have the name on it, and it's not... And it's... So, and because he's got blue, what? See, he's just
he's in
now.
the pilot ship.
So,
I don't know what else they're doing fucking here. Like, they're just having a good old conversation. Oh, what's this guy doing? He's in a Cutlass Blue. He's hanging around near an outpost that's fucking infamous for bloody being pirated. You know, what the fuck do you think he's doing, mate?
so basically, he's waiting for people to pick up gold. Then he's going to chase them. Basically.
Yeah.
Stop them from quantuming. And
Yeah.
basically have people pick up the thing.
Basically.
So, can we outrun him?
No, but what I could do is if he's on the hill, I could just go and ram into him.
Oh, ramming speed. Quick, where's Jack? Jack's got some good tips on ramming ships. One of them being don't do it in armistice.
Go!
Do like to tell him.
If you all haven't seen an entry animation for the Talon, then there it is right there. And the little picture-in-picture below me, you guys can't actually see into it. You're not missing anything, it's just old mate being a loot
Power
goblin.
shields.
So, move all does not work today.
You just move one of them first and then it will allow you.
Alright.
Yeah, so what you got to do is move one and then the rest of them will allow to be done. So he's over there still, the guy.
Okay. Has he seen you though?
I don't know.
You
So we
don't
could
know
do
if he's seen you or
Just fly
not.
straight into him.
You're less than a kilometre away.
That'd ruin his day, wouldn't it?
You'll definitely see him. Well, Kilthanis has been loot goblin right now. I don't know if he's actually bought gold. I haven't noticed him buying it. What are you doing? There's no arms. There's no fucking comrade. Just kill him. Oh, another one. Another ship's come in.
What's the
Why'd you turn your engines off?
Fix or something it's called.
What happened there?
I don't know, my engine's just turned off. Now, I don't know what happened there. I don't think I turned my own engines off because I use a gamepad and I don't have it set to turn my engines off on the gamepad unless I double tap the left D-pad button. And when I'm switching missiles, I'm using my right bumper and left bumper to switch between the missile modes. So I'm nowhere near the D-pad. So I don't know if he fired something at me. I didn't see anything being fired at me, or whether there was an EMP or something. But literally, I just fell out the sky and blew up. So what?
He's inside the armistice zone.
What's the car's name?
Fix or something it's called.
His shields are still at 100%. No ship damage to the ship. Honestly, I think old mate may have fat-fingered the control inside the Talon itself. Like, actually, yeah, his altitude's 500 meters. It's possible that he's just floated. Well, his speed is set to 0 though, so he's just tracking.
What's
Yeah,
the
they
car's
weren't near
name?
the ground when it happened.
Fix or something it's called.
What happened there?
I don't know, my engine's just turned off. Now, I don't know what happened there. I don't think I turned my own engines off because I use a gamepad and I don't have it set to turn my engines off on the gamepad.
Did he bet?
Unless I double tap the left D-pad button. And when I'm switching missiles, I'm using my right bumper and left bumper to switch between the missile modes. So I'm nowhere near the D-pad. So I don't know if he fired something at me. I didn't see anything being fired at me, or whether there was an EMP or something. But literally, I just fell out the sky and blew up. So what do we actually have as defense? It doesn't feel like as a trader we actually have a defense. If you're a solo trader as well and you're new to the game or you're not really good at combat, we don't have any defense. And so if your only aspect to the game is to go cargo trading, I don't see how
He's
you
below
can
the
play
terrain.
it if you're going to have.
So he hit the ground and his ship continued through it. You may, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the darker lines along, those are like folds in the terrain and rocks and shit. So his talons hit the ground and just kept going through it. Like, if old mate was, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the start where, you know, he's encountered a connection issue and he's fixed it by pulling the network cable and then plugging it back in, reconnecting so that it simulates a bloody, you know, proper disconnection of your internet. So pretty much at 30k. To be honest, I think old mate's desynced from the server again, and instead, you know, his client is saying, "Oh yeah, you're stationary here," but then for the server, he's just gone careening into the ground, destroyed his own engines, and then the server's gone, "Your engines are now fucked." And old mate's just fallen through the terrain, because that's the only thing that I can, you know, think of that would cause him to just pass through the terrain like that. Because, you know, when you hit the ground, you don't go through it, you normally stay above. Yeah, common sense would be a great starter defense.
Mine, if you're going to have no defense against something like that. Say if like you've got a cutty blue or whatever, something that can just turn your engines off. I don't know if that is what happens. Some people will be able to tell me in the comments. But if we've got something where your engines can just be turned off like that, then we've got no defense. We have zero defense as traders, and I'm not too sure what we can do about that. I'm not mourning about it. I do understand piracy is a big part of the game for some people, and I do like piracy. Not doing it myself, but I do like piracy being in the game. But I'm just wondering, what defense do we actually have other than calling other people? But if you're a sole player, it looks like we've got zero defense. So let us know, guys, what you guys think of what happened there. What do you think happened there? And what's your go-tos for defense for piracy? This is only the second time since playing the game, probably the third time that I've actually come across a pirate. And we went specifically out to look in the area.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a lot more informative, eh? Fucking... What defense does a cargo runner have against a pirate and star citizen? You got bigger problems to worry about than bloody pirates right now. You got your ship engines randomly getting destroyed. Honestly, like, I think old mate just has connection issues. Ram them, yes, especially when they're in the armistice zone. That's the best place to do it, Kingy. Just ask Jack Axton. He's the king of ramming ships and armistices. Oh man. Noobs gaming. Definitely. Actually, let's check out the the comments. Let's see what the comments have to say. The only counter is distance. More places need to sell things viable for cargo. Only 4 to 5 viable buy locations. It's easily campable. I fucking guarantee you that the 4 to 5 viable locations, buddy, of those 4 to 5, only one of them's getting the most frequent fucking people showing up. Without proper data review, there would be no way to identify what happened to your ship. But it sounded like you were hit. No, it didn't. Didn't sound like you were hit at all. It sounded like you turned your own engines off. Because normally when your engines are destroyed, you don't hear engines whether you're off. You normally don't get told shit. The only time that you hear that audio prompt is when you turn your own engines off. The only defense against this is going to be a long-term reputation of being an org with active players that are always looking to PvP. First, I did quite a few cargo runs and I was never attacked. Maybe I was lucky, maybe it wasn't the time for pirating 6 AM. Anyway, there is no real reason for shooting down a freighter with a combat ship with no cargo space. Only if the freighter has a bounty or the pirate has a buddy with a cargo ship for gathering the loot. All other cases are griefing. Yes, blackmailing too. Fuck off, Mr. Flag, you're a dickhead. 100% dickhead. Just because you don't see the cargo hauler doesn't mean that they're not fucking there. Pirates have buddies that haul cargo. Fucking main character syndrome. I've not been interdicted yet, so can't speak to that, but generally I plot my course on the map before I lift off, only get a little ways up, stay in an armistice, line up and let the QT calibrate and spool, and then blast out full boosted throttle. The instant I break out, I'm gone. Works most all of the time. Can't keep reading things. Can't keep reading them. Oh god. What defense does a lone cargo hauler have against a team of pirates? None. You want to know why? Because there's a team. Think of it this way. There's a team of them and one of you. For you to think that you should win against a team is fucking idiotic. Right? It's idiotic to think that you should be given the same sort of capabilities by yourself as a team. Especially when you're in a ship that isn't designed for combat and the team that you're going up against is. Like, you're not the chances of you surviving an encounter when you're solo doing bloody hauling and you go up against a team of pirates is quite small. Alright? And you're gonna want friends. You should want friends. To keep trying to push a narrative saying, fucking solo haulers should be able to handle pirates, a group of pirates. No, they shouldn't. Not at all. Should need a team. If they're bringing a team and they're equipped and they're ready, you should be bringing a team that's equipped and ready. And if you don't want to do that, fucking eat a bag of dicks. Live with the consequences of your actions. The main character haulers need to talk to the main character fucking bounty hunters to bring them in warm or bring them in cold. 100% know that. Yeah, the best defense is don't get cornered in the first place. If you're caught, then you take your lumps. Don't get caught. Part of the problem that we've got, I don't see too many content creators putting out good information on how to deal with pirates. And I'm not really that keen on doing it myself. Because it's like, alright, well, literally the best defense of, not getting pirated is just not to be there. If you see a Cutlass Blue at an outpost on approach, turn around and go the fucking other way. Don't go on land. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Fucking, if you do get caught by pirates, try and fight back. You're going to lose your cargo. More than likely you're going to lose your cargo. There are defensive flying techniques that you can do that if the pirates that you're going up against aren't that experienced at dealing with players who know what they're doing, you can employ certain defensive flying tactics and you actually may get away from them. But a surefire way to lose your cargo is to look at the pirates as you're flying in, land, buy all the cargo that you can put on there, and then take off and do what old mate was talking about, where it doesn't matter if you set your quantum drive and all that sort of shit. The pirates are worth their salt and fucking, what they're doing. They'll stop you from getting away. Right? Because they fucking train to do it. It's just me, and not even the gameplay matters, yeah. Well, sucks to suck, but if you don't want to get better, you don't want to get good, then, just learn to enjoy sucking. Just suck at the game. Enjoy it. Don't complain about it. I'd like to see other content creators start putting out better defenses against piracy. And, Defensive flying tactics, I think, is one of those things that should actually be taught to haulers. I don't think we've seen any content creators put out defensive flying tactics that haulers could employ to make it more difficult for a QED ship to keep a pin down. And there are ways of doing it. I know, because I've seen it. I've had people try to do it to me before. And the reality is that, you know, the information for that is far and few between. You'll get wrecked and you'll like it, Agens Leti. 100%. Captain Dirty did on his channel? Did he? I have to go back through his videos. I don't remember seeing it. Oh no, like they are 100% the same people. Yeah, Hex, that may end up being it, you know, how to protect your booty. Put out a video showing how to fly against pirates. Like, that needs to start doing the rounds then. Sparkle, if you're on our Gilded server, feel free to throw it into the reactions section, and I'll try and react to it next week. Because I'm interested in showing this off, you know, bringing attention to it. Personally, I'm not that keen on going through the effort of making that video. That said, I'll probably be putting the pack rats through some of this training eventually. But we need to build the numbers up a bit more first. Yeah, also you're right, it is sad that pirates have to, you know, feel the need to do how-tos to show, you know, the opposing players on, you know, how to deal with this. Yeah, I was kind of hoping, and we almost saw it from Avenger 1, but I was kind of hoping that we'd see more people engaging in piracy gameplay to learn how to do it, and then, you know, inversely how to defend against it better, and then putting out content based on that. But it doesn't look like people are really that interested in it, and they're just more keen on, you know, just sucking at the game. The pirates, you know, there's too many pirates around. I can't play the game. I don't want to fight the pirates. You know, buddy, I didn't buy this game to do PvP. Eat a bag of dicks. You're just gonna get fucked on if you think like that. Right now, you're in an environment where PvP is going to happen whether you like it or not. Sucks to suck right now. Unfortunately for you, that's the environment we're in right now. Eventually, it's not always going to be the case. There's going to be places where PvP will be extremely difficult to pull off. And that's it. Like, you just got to wait until then. But you're not going to be operating at the same level of profit margins or anything like that as what you are now. Because CIG believes in risk versus reward. And pirates are going to experience it too. Like, I'm already making the prediction, Pyro is going to be the piracy safe spot. If you want to be making the big bucks as a pirate, you go to Stanton, where you got the risk of prison. Star Citizen pirates hate this one trick. Star Citizen Piracy Guide. Wait. But I'm an elite dangerous pirate, so I can't hate it that much, right? I'm not an elite dangerous pirate either. They don't exist. Not anymore. When I was new to Star Citizen, while a lot of PvE orgs were friendly, I found that the pirate players were far more interested in teaching and showing stuff. Of course, Hex. Log out of SC, fire up X4. Man, I actually wanted to give X4 a crack, eh? I want to give X4 a go. My problem with it, though, is, like, I was like, alright. I was looking into it and I'm like, can we do piracy? How does piracy work in this game? And the way that was being described sounded awesome. You know, like you find your target, you start your interdiction process, you send your boarding teams across. I'm like, holy shit, this is sick. And, you know, like you can walk around inside the ships in X4 now. I'm like, yeah, sweet. You know, maybe we can do some sick shipboardings. That'll be awesome. Like, it's a single player game though. But I'm like, you know, something a little bit different from Star Citizen. I'm not opposed to, you know, looking at that gameplay until it was like, no, you send AI across and it's just a simulated boarding action and you don't get to participate in it in any sort of direct action. There's no FPS gameplay, and I got sad. And I'm like, if they put fucking FPS gameplay in that game where you could run and gun, I'd fucking buy it. But, you know, maybe the next one. Alright, we're going to finish off with the palette cleanse. Now, I don't want... It's going to be a gameplay video. Going to be a gameplay video, and we've watched his videos before. You guys might recognize the name if you click on the link, but I'm going to switch over to this scene here. It's a bit clickbaity, but, you know. This is gameplay. Criminal turns pirate hunter, Star Citizen gameplay. And it's from Captain Burks. So I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm keen. It's a fairly long one. But I'm interested. I want to see how the criminal turns pirate hunter. And does he really? But yeah, this is kind of the palette cleanse for the end of the stream. So let's see how this goes. So the last Burks video that I watched, I wasn't too impressed from memory. Maybe that was a different video. I haven't been impressed a lot with a lot of the content lately. I think I've become a bit of a content snob. Anyway, this is Criminal Turns Pirate Hunter from Captain Burks.
Choose who you want to be. Trader, salvager, bounty hunter, pirate, good guy, bad guy. There's no predetermined path. Personally, I love bounty hunting. And even better than that is teaming up with someone in fighting criminals together. Today's story is an unlikely duo that comes together to take down pirates. And these pirates were skilled fighters. But let's back up. Where did this all start? Well, in the place you find every criminal in the verse. Grim Hex.
Ooh, Grim Hex. Evil. Wubba Lubba Dubstep.
That's a fucking dubstep.
That's a fucking phenomenal name.
Last seen Grim Hex a minute ago.
Zaraz mi powiedz, ile na serwerze jest ludzi.
Yeah, what language is that?
Po prawej stronie masz mój nick. Nie część, tam powinny być liczby.
Polish? Russian? I gotta approach this carefully. Yo, which one of you is Wubba Lubba Dubstep? Bro, are you Wubba Lubba Dubstep? This guy looks AFK now. You can add friend. Yeah, I don't like doing that though. Oh, this guy slipped out of Grim Hex and I didn't even realize. Oh.
Wubba Lubba Dodge Step.
I have a feeling I'm just gonna have to kill this guy.
Well, how else are you gonna claim the bounty, Burks?
He does not seem like he wants to cooperate.
The Old Spice jingle. I think we get infringed for copyright on that one. There, Hex. Oh my god, he's in an Aurora MR. What are you doing, mate? He's a fucking noob. Kill him. Get him. What are you doing? Shoot him!
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, slow down, buddy. What's the rush? Wait, can you hear me? Hello? You trying to go clear your crime stat? Okay, you want some backup? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Get out of your ship, hop on mine. I can't hear you if you're talking to me, but if you're in the turret, I think there's a bounty hunter after us. This guy who's ahead of us, paper plane, he's friendly.
Wubba Lubba Dubstep. I fucking love that name. Ooh, look at all that security in there. Shit.
Okay, we're good. Let's go, go, go. Dude, I love that I can see him on my screen. This is so cool. Dude, I got bad news for you. Terminal's bugged. Give it a try if you can. We've got incoming. There's a player bounty on the way in. Man, servers just suck today. Okay, well, listen, here's what we can do. We can head back to Grim Hex and server hop. Okay, let's do it. There is a Gladius inbound, so we might have to take care of him first. You stay right here, and I'm going to head out and just make sure it's clear to pick you up. Okay, I think we're good. Let's run for it.
So, I'll quickly pause. So what's happened is that Burke's picked up a bounty for somebody. He's gone to, he's found them. He was going to take him down, but instead decided to bring them on board because old Wubba Lubba Dubstep was going to SPK to clear his crime stat. So Burks decided to help him. Terminal's bugged at SPK, so it's stuck trying to clear a criminal charge, and it's no longer usable anymore. So he's now taking him back to Grimhex so that they can server hop together. Oh, and they were being chased because old mate's got a bounty on him.
No, unfortunately, this is the only one on the server now. Yeah, this guy's not friendly. We're going to shut him off.
What are you doing, Burks?
Just like spinning out of control.
He's spinning. It's a good trick. What are you expecting? Doesn't look like he's off yet.
I'm trying not to get a CS. Oh, did he die? Oh, we're good. Okay, very cool. We got him. Good work, dude. I'll land really quick, and then I'll see you on the next server.
Hey, can you hear me now? In party comms?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
It's Wubba!
Nothing much. Thank you so much, Drew.
Yeah, no problem. It's Hangar 5, FYI.
So the way I got this concept, I was literally just doing stuff on Microtech, and I targeted the 890 jump by accident, and next thing you know, boom, level 3 concept.
You must lock the missile.
Oh,
yeah, unfortunately, locking a missile is like an act of aggression. So if like you're in missile mode and then you lock someone, it will just lock them and give you the CS.
Damn, I did not know that.
Okay, hopefully, man, this console's working, because this would be the second terminal I saw today that's...
But that's not how it works. You just get a hostility rating. You don't get a crime stat for locking a missile. What the hell are you on about, Burks? You actually have to commit an act of aggression, though. Trying to imagine Rick's voice. Yeah. Oh, man. If this noob was leading him on and then just kills him. Oh, man. Like it need to be like it'd have to happen in a really cool way though. Like it needs to be like, you know, like drugging Burks and then throwing him, like taking his helmet off and throwing him out the back of the ship or something like that. Or, you know, like getting into a fight and then, you know, Burks is getting into an FPS fight. Burks is running back to his ship. Old mate's already got onto it and just takes off and leaves him there. Oh. Alright, so they're going back to SPK again. They're on a different server and they're hoping to clear Wubba's crime stat. We can now hear Wubba. But yeah, like, you don't get a fucking crime stat for locking a missile. You have to commit an act of aggression, so chances are old mate's locked a missile on whoever. They've registered him as hostile, old mate's killed them, and because of that he's got a crime stat. That's normally how it goes.
It's been bugged.
Man, I love this game.
Dude, I heckin' love Star Citizen.
Heckin'. The fuck is that? Heckin'.
You know, it's like a social experiment, bro. How many bugs can you endure before you close the game?
Honestly, that's pretty much how it's working for me right now. Like, I'm
FYI, there's a Vanguard Sentinel in front of us. I don't know if it's the friendly I was talking about earlier.
Spin Burks, it's a good trick. Told you. Yeah, you shouldn't get a crime stat if you're locking a missile on UE Navy.
A friendly.
But you come up as hostile to them. And then they'll attack you, and when you attack them, that's when you get the charge.
I'm gonna get him a party invite.
Are you doing anything after this?
Me, dude? Oh, man. This has been my main content lately, is helping people clear their crime stat.
Oh, you a content creator?
God, I shouldn't have said it like that. Oh, yeah.
So what's your YouTube?
Burks, B-E-R-K-S.
I'll go check it out.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thank you so much, bro. I've been wanting to get into it. I've recorded some stuff, yeah, it's just, I never find the time to actually edit it all together. You know, it's a hassle.
Absolutely, man. Literally, I hired an editor, and it changed my life. You got the voice for it, dude. You should do it.
Jeez, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro.
It's mostly just because I'm actually kind of side hustle as a musician, so I just have all the equipment.
Dude, that makes sense. Your mic's crispy. Okay, you got a hacking chip on you?
Thanks.
People playing, what the hell is this?
Bro?
It's weird. I actually make money off jazz, but my passion is actually EDM.
Dude, that is wild. Those are so, like, vastly different.
Yeah, no, my father's a musician, and he was brought up on jazz, so obviously, just being his son, he brought me up on it, and like, I play jazz piano. That's just like my side hustle. I'm actually
look, he's forming.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I used to work in film, so
it's criminal turns pirate hunter. So obviously, Wubba Lubba Dubstep, who's a jazz musician that loves EDM, is going to be the criminal that turns into a pirate hunter, and Burks is forming a bond with him right now. Kind of like, yeah, probably the most cruelest thing that Burks could do right now is like wait until old mate's about to clear his crimes and then pop him and send him to Clasher. So yeah, like I'm more interested to find out what the pirate hunting is going to happen, and we're about halfway through, so it must be happening soon, right? Right?
I get that, man. Like doing one type of thing that makes you money, do the other type of thing that you love.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I guess I get the name, Wubba Lubba Dubstep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it. We're clear.
Sick. Thank you so much. If you guys are still going to be doing this, I don't mind running with you for a little while.
He wants to join up! Tell you what, dude, I think we've got another bounty on the server. Let's see what they're doing.
Get him! Get him, Burks!
You ever do any player bounty hunting?
I mean, I tried, but I play from South Africa, so I'm chilling on like 200 MS.
These guys seem like they're in a group. They might be doing piracy. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try and talk to this guy.
No, you're getting fired at, Perks. Kill him. Oh, he's running distortions and fucking repeaters.
I don't think he's interested in talking. Maybe we light him up.
Knows how to fly that arrow a bit.
Oh god, we are totally gonna hit an asteroid shot.
What's the red for?
That stops people from quantum jumping, but they gotta be within 2K of me.
I see. That's pretty cool.
Get him, Perks! You're in Comrade range. Get him. Need to charge a boost. Charge a boost. Ooh. Come on, put some...
Dude, he's so red. I can't fire my weapons. He's distorted us.
Come on, get him. What the fuck is Wubba doing?
Let's go. Oh my god, good job, bro.
Damn.
Whew. With our first bounty done and we're all warmed up, we headed out to follow a bounty at Microtech, but we had no idea what we'd be getting ourselves into.
Oh no. Her blur good blur. Her blur good blur. Fucking what are these names?
We might not be able to. He's not even interested in a fight, doesn't look like. Here's what I say we do. Let's go talk to the C2 owner and see if he knows what's going on.
Mandingo.
Yo, Mandingo, Mandingo, just looking for some info. Okay.
It's alright.
Here comes the bounty. He's going after this guy, I think.
Wobba lobba dubstep.
We're gonna give him some protection.
Why?
Yeah, I'm done.
Why is this? Why would this Hornet be coming in by themselves?
Check fire.
Wobba, what are you doing? Shoot your guns. Put your saxophone down, mate. Alright, we're in a fight.
He's in something faster than us. We're not gonna catch him.
Looks like the other guy's coming around for a pass.
Is he?
Well, Mandingo got away.
Okay, get ready.
Go for it, Wubba. Get him. Get him, Wubba. Yeah, Wubba, get him. What is the Hornet doing? Keep going, Wubba. What are you doing? Yeah, you're in a fucking turret. You could have followed
so
him.
Close.
He really doesn't look like he's here to fight.
So we got the trader to safety, but now we needed to finish this fight. The challenge is this pirate is not just in any ship. They're in the Hornet, which is currently the fastest and best fighter in the game. One wrong move and they are gone. But I had a plan. I'll bring him as low into Microtech's atmosphere as I can. This way I can limit his speed so I can try to win the fight. But this is where everything goes wrong.
Oh no.
Oh, we're taking fire.
Okay, hey, that's fine. We're gonna let this guy shoot us.
He's back.
Well, no, just shoot back
We're
at him,
gonna let him
Wubba.
shoot
What
us
are you
'cause
doing?
we want to get him really low. Don't fire at him until he's under 1,000.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna turn and burn on him right here when we get to the ground.
Yeah, you're not.
All right.
Oh, shit. What? He's got a friend coming in. Another blue. 11 o'clock and high.
Check fire.
Gun him! Gun him down, Wubba! Get him!
Check fire.
Oh!
Oh my god.
You found the ground
I did not
there.
realize how close to the ground we were getting.
Well, that scared the shit out of me too. He's getting fired at by a mate.
And I
got
got
two,
ejected
mate.
from the ship.
You got...
Oh no.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you shut down, Burks. Get out! Get out! Oh shit. Jump! Pull out your railgun. He's like,
Oh, please get off your ship.
oh god, this is fucking good. I like this.
Oh, man.
Wabba! Wabba! Oh no, Wabba, what are you doing?
So what happened? Did you die?
Yeah, no, as soon as I ejected from the ship.
Alright, well listen, bro, tell you what, I'm still alive. Do you think you could maybe swing in and pick me up?
Sure.
Okay. So what happened was a second guy showed up and started shooting us as well, who didn't have a crime stat. So I was right, these guys are pirates. Now, was the guy who got away a pirate as well? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we saved that guy. Yeah, at least we got a small victory out of that. Okay, I'm in a nice little opening. You can, should be able to land easily.
Fucking Burke's just going for a little frolic in the field.
I'm gonna go claim the Hurricane. You want to give going after these guys one more try?
Yeah, let's go.
He's a SMO 10.
Her blood, dude. Her blood got that blood. Come on, Bucks, get him in there. Old bounty bloke hasn't bothered repairing his ship. Come on, mate. What are you doing? Keep an eye on your radar, because his buddy's gonna show up in a minute. Get him. No, too far away. Wait until you're below 1,000, mate. Alright, yeah, now engage. Ah, come on, Wobber. What are you doing, mate? Your turret can turn. Whoa, his field's already got.
Let's go!
What the?
We got him. Mission accomplished, boys.
Desync is
that
ever
guy's in
present.
prison, guys. We sent him in prison. Job well done. So we found a criminal, convinced him to team up with us, took down a bounty, saved a traitor, fought pirates, barely survived, and then ended up coming out on top. This one was so much fun, and I'd call it a major win. Make sure to subscribe if you love the content, because the next story is even crazier. Thanks so much for watching, and this is Burks signing off.
Good job, Burks. You've redeemed yourself, Burks. I hope to see Wubber in the next episode. If not, I'll be disappointed. You'll need to find a sidekick. Wubber's now your sidekick, Burks. Was he really a criminal if he was turned so easily? Yeah, the criminal part was probably a bit of a stretch, but yeah. No, that was good. I liked it. Oh man, I wish there'd been a bit more action on the, after Burks had to ditch his Hurricane. But, you know, then again, there's no real motivation. If you got a bounty, there's no motivation to get out of your ship, really. You're better off just sticking with it and just fighting everyone. But Burks, I liked it. That's the type of gameplay video. Storytelling. I'll link that again. You should all watch that. It was something different. It was actual gameplay. It wasn't somebody fucking whinging. It wasn't a talking head doing reactions. It was good to see. Alright, well, it's nearly midnight. Yeah, actual content. Actual gameplay. I'm not gonna lie though, the start was a bit slow. But, you know, it was kind of highlighting the issues that you have to work around to get that gameplay. Well, the ending was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the chat, but yeah, like old mate there was desync, and for Burks and Wubba Lubba Dubstep, best fucking name ever. Old Herb Gerb, whatever the old fucking Ben Hur himself, but he was just flying in a straight line and got gunned down. He was desynced from Burks and apparently was maneuvering and then just exploded. So yeah, sucks, but it's what happens. It's, you know, that's the game that we're playing. You just gotta learn to roll with the punches. Anyway, that is it for this stream. Thank you very much for everybody coming along. As I said before, earlier at the start of the stream, the plan is to get not only the content portions from last week's stream out, but also the content portions for this week's stream out tomorrow. And I'm just going to dump it all out there, so we'll see how we go. At least last week's will be done tomorrow, and yeah, this week's will be hopefully, if not tomorrow, then within the next few days. No, actually, I haven't ever heard of that book before. The Three Bodies Problem. and a Mongrel Squad video, and Blake will rejoice. Well, I'm gonna have to disappoint you there, Blake. 100% gonna have to disappoint you. That said, I am working through a Mongrel Squad video as well now, which, depending on how long it takes for me to get the reaction stuff done, I'll probably move towards trying to complete that one, and I'll have 4 almost ready. Well, 4 that's good to go, although I do want to do a little bit of a revision on the narration that I did for them, the previous ones. So yeah. That said though, we've got some exciting news for Mongrel Squad if my tests work out the way that they are for editing videos. Anyway, that is it for this stream for tonight. Thank you very much everybody for coming along. The next stream is going to be tomorrow night, starting at 7:30 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, GMT +10, and it's going to be me getting into Arena Commander, getting sweaty, doing some PvP dogfighting. I actually will see if there's any sort of battle royale matches going on. There might be, there might not be. Most of the time people go into free flight because they don't want to have to deal with the matches. I kind of want to get into battle royale again, all in preparation for 320. But there's also after we do that for a bit as a warm up, we'll probably end up going into the Assistant Universe and fly around and see how many people we can find and kill. All right, that's it. I was about to press the touchscreen on my phone to close off the stream, but then I remembered I'm on my gaming PC, so catch us all tomorrow.